and recording set up. Yeah, I can see your message. Up my screen. I should activate second screen on my phone and use my tablet. That's the real question now, isn't it, people? Short. Today we're going to be doing a broadcast of a solo Empire hunt, and I'm going to show you guys actually how to complete the Empire hunt as a solo build. You know, there's many ways to do it. You can do it on all three characters. I'll explain that at the end of the video, how to actually complete it on all three characters. But for today, because I haven't really had very much time to focus on Destiny 2 content with all the shit going on in my life, I'm pretty much going to be able to show you guys a Shinobi Revenant, in essence, like ninja class, basically. But is he ever a fucking ninja? Bouncing fucking... Ugh. Long story short, somebody could be hiding behind a wall. I can whip my freaking shuriken at the wall, it'll bounce off the wall and smack him in the back of the head. Fuck off. Okay, so yeah, it's telling me I gotta sign in before I can get the PlayStation second screen to activate. Well, it's doing that. I'll load us up to Europa. I'm probably gonna have to farm some fucking Heralge pieces anyways. Yeah, I know, they're not called that, but that's my funny way of referring to them. Old secrets, new challenges. Find out what's siphoning power from within Braex of Science. Okay, that's something new. I guess I'll go check that out. That'll give me the Heralge pieces. The whatever the fuck they're called. These things. My screen loads. Where are they? These things! These motherfuckers! Heralways. There we go. Or Heraldways, whatever the hell. I don't fucking know. All I know is they're hella gay to collect. Come on, sign in. Sign in. Okay, so there we go. Connected to my PS4 now at the second screen. And basically, the only reason I have to activate the second screen is because it's either that or I can't see your comments. Bam! Connected to the companion app. There we go. Perfect. Let's activate the second screen. Okay, so now I can see you guys' comments. There we go. Okay, now next is explaining the build. What we're going to be doing today. So you have to get the Stasis class, and you have to go through the process of unlocking all of the different quests and all that shit. So long story short, get Beyond Light done. After you've completed Beyond Light, you go and you get, what's it called? The Born in Darkness quest. Once you start the Born in Darkness, it's going to upgrade you to eventually be able to get the different stasis grenades, like the... And long story short, unlocks the ability to go and complete the final quest, like the after the campaign quest that Varix asks you to do. Once you get all of that completed, and you've done all of those quests... Hey guys, what up? Hi! Okay, so these are the Fallen Empire hunts, long story short. So you can, like, in essence, you get the Heralge pieces, you go and you collect them, you buy them, and then they give you different weapons and shit. They're not that bad, because, I mean, there's different weapon quests and all that stuff depending on what you want to unlock. I've got the Arctic Haze so far, which is this thing right here. You know me and my auto rifles. Blop, blop. What do I want to do, though? I guess I'll beat the fucking warrior. I guess I'll beat the warrior. He's not that hard to beat. So I gotta go collect pieces for that. Yeehaw! Before I do that, though, I'm gonna take my ass a big-ass bong rip. Let's do this! Oh, damn, I like a sparrow. Looks like it's got little hooks. Go in reverse style towards an enemy. Mine is a beast of a sparrow. It's got 6 thrusters. As you can clearly tell, I like one thing and one thing only. Really fast vehicles. But I got ADHD. Can I help it? Actually, let me see what else I got real quick. Yeah, why not? What does this one do again? Improve dodging. That'll reload. Yeah, so when I'm transferring from point to point, this one will reload me. Weapons and stuff. Only get floating like a sea, Caribbean islands where I find them dope dealers supply me. Sorry, I got the song I'm gonna play running through my head. This is gonna get boring for you guys after a while if I don't start moving soon. My bad. I gotta take a bong hit. It helps my brain focus. You have no idea what kind of a day I fucking had today. Woo. That's all I can say. Yeah, that was my Michael Jackson impression. Pumpkin, you're sitting on my controller. Do you mind, kitty? Got your butt on my sticks. That sounded so wrong. My bad, people. Oh, yeah, I forgot to clarify the build, too. Okay, so I guess I got way ahead of myself now that I think about it. So, long story short, what you want to run is the stasis. Okay, the bow, it's only because I had a good roll and I was fucking around with it, but that's not exactly what you want to run for. You want to run No Time to Explain with a Timeline Vertex with Disruption Break, because you're going to come across a lot of enemies in Empire hunts that have, like, different shields, mostly fucking fire shields, but the whole point of this is that Field Prep and Disruption Break is going to give me extra ammo, and every time I break their shields, this is going to do more damage. If I've got the portal open for No Time to Explain, I'm doing triple damage, pretty much, with the extra shot. So this thing will shred a fucking boss. Long story short. And this having Ambitious and Cluster Bombs, it's got intrinsic lock-on, so basically it's got lock-on built into the weapon. Having that, yeah, it's my big golden rocket, what can I say? Long story short, the weapon fires a small auto-tracking missile. Missiles lock onto targets when aimed. If I kill a shitload of targets, I can load 2 rockets. Basically, if I kill more than 2 targets with one blast, I'll load 2 rockets into the rocket launcher. More than 5, I'll load 3. More than 8, I'll load 4. For a total max of 4, that's the most you can get. It increases the chance that I kill shit. I hit one guy, I hit the boss directly. That's why it's got boss spec doing a shitload of damage. And I've got impact casing, doing a bunch of damage on direct hits. Volatile launch, it just turns around and hits them really quick. Combining the two, long story short, I lock on, I shoot, clusters explode, take out a bunch of guys, I reload, I get 2 rockets. I fire 2 rockets simultaneously. One after the other, with no reload. And it crushes a boss. With the new upgrades to fucking rocket launchers and all that shit, it's pretty destructive, actually. Okay, so there is a specific song I wanted to play before we go and do this. It's going to be perfect for the way I run this. Busted. Let's do this. After I take this bong hit. I guess I got nobody watching. Yeah! Can you do a can you do a can? Yes, I fucking can you do the can you do the can? Yes, I fucking can. Okay, so I'm gonna go help these guys. I just gotta play the song. This will give me the Herald Way pieces. That's what it is. Herald Way. I remember now. I heard frickin' Varix pronounce them earlier. Fuck, do I ever hate dyslexia. Read shit, and I'm all like, Herald Gay! Yeah! Thank God this game requires mostly just kinesthetic learning. A lot of people complain there's very little written down. Most of it you gotta figure out by playing. That makes it so much easier for me. Holy fuck, that bong hit kicked my ass. Controller died. Give me a second, guys. I gotta find my charge cord. And I'm about to get killed. Right, fuck you. In the great words of my immortal enemies. And that's not meant as an insult. Nothing but respect for Muslim warriors. If you knew anything about Allahu Akbar, you'd realize it has nothing to do with insulting your enemy on the battlefield. Nor does it have anything to do with attempting to be disrespectful to those you kill. It's actually their version of the last rites. It's like how if I killed somebody, I'd probably say, go to God, go to heaven. They say the same thing. They believe that bringing God closer to the situation is the easiest way to get him to take your soul to heaven. So when they shoot one of our soldiers and they say Allahu Akbar, they're actually showing respect to the soldier. And that's why I say it, because I actually know what it really means. It's kind of funny. He's not usually on this late. Hey, Leif.
Hello.
How you doing? My bad if you can hear my music. Sorry, I gotta turn that down. Give me a second.
No, it's all good, man. I just wanted to turn in some bounties.
Oh, yeah, if you want to, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm struggling to sleep, and it's like 9 o'clock in the morning almost.
I kind of figured that when you saw me just sitting there on the Europa, you're like, yep, quicker to connect. It's easier to connect to a friend. Yeah. I get it. I get that totally. Oh, give me a second. I gotta go figure out. I was actually just mostly broadcasting gameplay for my friends.
Okay. Cool. You want Twitch on that?
Joined it anyways. And I was actually just fucking around taking bong hits. I don't even know if they're going to, so. I'm wondering what this is, though. I've never seen this public event. No, those are oracles.
Okay.
Oh, when you're in the Cadmus Ridge, there's like this public event where oracles appear in the sky. They're in like shielded boxes. And now I can't. Now a blizzard started, so I can't even see them.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
What I do, change bolts to put it on the positive rewards. But the blue looks pretty awesome, man. Oh, this, this is nice. I've seen that.
Yeah, you see what I mean? Like, I've never seen this before, ever.
Yeah, I haven't seen that before.
I'm guessing you have to defend the complex. It's most likely what this is. Keep them out of the center, find a way to drop the shield, kill the oracle. It seems like it's powering up that one more than anything.
Well, I haven't seen them looking that big. Like,
yeah. Clearly, that's what we got to do. So yeah, we just have to defend the middle until fucking the conflux is able to drop its shield, and then we kill the oracle. Two things I don't know how to be: silence and squall. Haha, there we go. There's some pieces. Oh, the prime servitor. We gotta get this guy, I guess. What? A fallen protecting a complex. That makes no sense. Oh yeah, I forgot. The whole point of Beyond Light is the fallen and trying to hack and steal the Vex. Which kind of makes a lot of sense. I mean, if they are machines, technically they could be hacked. Like, they have a command probe. It's like a shank, if you get what I mean. We've reprogrammed shanks before, so why couldn't we do it to the Vex? It's because, like, there were some videos that were released of a Cabal and a Fallen, or sorry, some images released that were data mined of a Cabal and a Fallen, like, standing beside Zavala. And since this guy, like, the guy who data mined this, he also data mined all the stuff about how the Crow was going to be coming back and how that was going to be his name. So it's like, you ever heard of Anon the Nine, by chance? Oh, back in Destiny 1, yeah, and on the 9, he was this guy in Destiny 1 who was leaking a lot of information about upcoming content. And the thing is, he actually wasn't wrong. And what we found out in the end is the reason why was because, and there's always been questions as to whether or not, no one's been able to prove this, but we do know this as a fact. There's always been questions as to whether or not Bungie intended this. Okay, but he was actually a Bungie employee. And that's who Anon the 9 was. He was, like, releasing information about, like, Rise of Iron before it came out. And the truth is, because of And on the Nine and the hype that he set before Rise of Iron releasing like those pieces and all that stuff, many people have always believed that Bungie told him to do it because he still hasn't been fired for doing it. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's the big question, is that they never fired him. And the reason why they said they never fired him was because he's actually on the advertising team. And that's how he knew so much about the different, like, what content was coming out. And he many times had pushed at the lead office, you know, like, we should be releasing more content in our previews, give them a little bit more, make them more, you know, like, enticed towards it. So he was doing it behind their back. But the only thing that Bungie can admit to is that whatever he was doing clearly increased their sales, so they decided not to fight. Like, it's one of those things where, you know, like, it's like in the military, that we have a rule, okay, better to ask forgiveness than permission.
Okay.
You get it now?
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what he was doing, was he was looking at, well, that's what they're saying happened, was he decided he'd rather ask for forgiveness than permission. Like, he'd rather just go and do it and say, fuck it, you know, like, whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
But in the end, it actually worked out totally in his favor, so it's like in the military, like, if you disobey a direct order, okay, from your commander, but you in the end actually complete the objective better than as intended and ordered, you're not only going to make your commander look like a total fucking idiot, which is why a lot of soldiers don't do it, is because you just don't want to piss off your commanders, so they can make you run 20 miles, you never know. But not only does it make them look like an idiot, but it actually makes you look like a better strategist. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, but if you fuck up, you just look like a soldier who broke the rules. But if you were, you see what I'm saying? But if you were to explain to them that the only reason why you did it, where the only reason you disobeyed the orders is because you believed it was in the greater good of the squad, the greater good of the unit, yada, 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 you're more likely not to be kicked out of the military, more just reprimanded. You won't get court-martialed, you'll be imprisoned. You see what I'm saying? Like, they'll put you in jail for a month.
Yeah.
Well, they'll put you, in military jail and confined. Like, not really jail, just you'll be confined to base. Shit like that.
Confined to base, yeah.
Which is pretty much jail. I don't care what anyone says. You're inside of a steel fence.
Well, that's one. You know, almost 24 hours I've been awake. I've got to get some.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I figured you had to head out. So but basically, before you head out, I'll tell you what I was more saying. It's only 10 seconds, don't worry. So basically, this guy is the next And on the Nine. He's the guy who's been releasing shit that, you know, like, fucking, basically, that nobody can, like, it's like everything he's coming out with and everything he's saying happens. Okay, but he's not a Bungie employee. This is literally just some nerd. Okay, who every time Bungie releases, like, you know how, like, when before Beyond Light came out, they released all of the information for it? Like, it was already there, just waiting for us to start playing?
Yeah.
Well, the coding, that's what he did. Because they do it like that, he went and looked at the codes, and he was able to extrapolate, basically, through the coding, what the images would look like. Because every image is a code, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he just puts that into a code reader, and then an image appears on his screen, and he sees, oh shit, this is what's coming out in Beyond Light. And one of the things he saw was an image of the crow.
Guardian.
Like, he saw basically, they also kind of leaked it too. Do you remember when Bungie showed some information for Beyond Light? They showed us the Triumph system. Symbol. And a lot of people don't realize that's Aldrin's symbol. It's been on his chest since Destiny 1. It's like he's called the Crow, but that mark that he has, like, you know, the data that we get pretty much? Mm-hmm. That's the symbol of the crows. Do you know what that is? Or... And I'll leave it at that because I know you said you wanted to go to bed. Okay, have you ever played Destiny 1? Remember when you go to Aldrin and you find out that he commands a specific unit of special forces? Like, kind of like, it's a way to explain it, I guess. They're like Awoken Hunters. But they don't wield the light. If you look at Aldrin, he's clearly a hunter, and he was one, like, I guess you could say Aldrin, which always kind of tripped me out, is he was powerful enough as just a basic person to kill a Guardian. Like, he didn't even wield the light, and he could kill Cade. Imagine what he's like now.
I know.
But that's the piece right there, is that Aldrin is a crow, and the crows are pretty much a special forces unit of the Awoken that try to be like Guardians. The only difference between them and the Guardians, and why many Guardians actually consider the crows to be pretty batshit crazy, but also pretty fearless, is that they follow the rules of the Guardians, but they don't come back. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, what's weird is that more Awoken Guardians have been selected from the crows than any other group. And that's how I knew this was, like, I know you had to go, I guess, but that's how I knew Aldrin was going to be resurrected as a guardian. Because almost half of the crows that have served for the Awoken Queen have resurrected as guardians when they die. It's because they try to be guardians, they try to live under the rules of one, and then they die as one. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the ghost goes and finds them, and he's like, well, he's already ready to go, he just needs the light. And that's, go figure, it happened to Aldrin, because Aldrin has always, like, you remember how when he says, you know, like, don't take this in a bad way, but it's really nice to fight with another light bearer? Yeah, he does say that when you meet him, when you go and you talk to him in the back room after you're done talking to Spider. And the reason why he says that is because he's always, it's because he's always had a lot of respect for guardians. He created the crows to protect his sister. That's the whole reason they were created. It was to protect Mara Sov. He wanted the queen protected the same way the travelers protected, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Like, we protect the traveler, the crows protect the queen. So it's really kind of ironic that, you know, like, I always told people that, like, Aldrin's going to be a guardian. If he gets killed, he's going to come back. And they're like, how? And I'm like, well, because he already fucking was one. If you knew anything about the lore of the crows, like, he's pretty much a hunter. And if we follow the vanguard dare of the hunters, whoever kills the leader of the hunter, like, basically, hunters don't lie from the truth of how they wield the light. They're killers. You get it now?
Yes.
And that's the point of the Vanguard Dare, is that the leader of the Vanguard should be the best killer. And if there's a hunter out there that can kill him, he's not the best killer. So now you know why nobody's taken the seat. Like, I know this seems weird, but, like, Cade was perfect for the job because of one big fucking truth. He had one hell of a death wish.
Cade, man.
Like, that's the truth of Cade, and people don't really, like, that's what makes his story really sad. When you read, like, the messages he left behind, those were to people that he always thought, and, like, he knew someone was going to kill him, and he never knew who. So he left messages behind just in case, you know, it was this person or this person. And what's funny is that all of them, like, he even left one for fucking Clovis Bray. No joke, you know the reference to the Deep Stone Crypt and how, like, they would delete, like, he would delete their memories so they wouldn't ask as many questions and all that shit, right? Okay, but when a person is downloaded, okay, into the core, it has to be first transferred into a piece of crystalline. Like, basically, like what he did, he transferred it into a crystal, and then he copied it into that big head and then into that other exo. Okay, so there's still that original crystal copy of the brain. Same with LZ Bray, same with Cade. Okay, now if you look at Cade's memories, he may be Cade 6 and he has certain gaps in his memories. But unlike the other exos, like, have you ever heard of Castor 15?
Castor 15.
Castor 15 is the only guardian to have ever been resurrected with his memories.
I need to go back and study.
Yeah, look into the story of Castor 15. It's kind of trippy. He's an exo. Okay, and he was a political assassin. Like, he was sent out by Clovis Bray to take out leaders of, like, politicians and leaders of business groups that may attempt to try to stop the Clovis Bray Corporation. Okay, and how he died, and he remembers how he died. That's, like, his final moments was, he was trying to kill someone, they were struggling. Okay, the person got a hold of his gun, shot him through the heart, and then as he was, like, kind of, like, shutting off from being shot in the heart, the top of the fucking building got ripped off. And he saw the darkness, the pyramids above, coming down to create the collapse. So, like, he has the only memories of the collapse.
Of the collapse. Wow.
But he's actually Castor 15, so he was reset 15 times. This is what's trippy. He should have memory problems.
Yeah.
But he remembers. You see what I'm saying? He's not like Banshee. He's not anything close to Banshee. Yeah. In fact, Clovis remembers Banshee. Like, when you go to him for the lament, he remembers them. That's what's weird. So what's odd about this whole thing about Castor 15 is that their memory gaps aren't actually caused by the resets. What's actually happening is that there's certain memories that Clovis didn't want them to have. Because it would make, like, same like what he did. This was his own granddaughter. What do you think he'll do to everybody else? I guess the people really don't notice. Like, look what he did to his own granddaughter. What's to say he wouldn't have done that shit to Cade? But Cade would get really fucking mad. And we all know that Cade knew more about the exploration of this solar system and what was truly hidden, including the location of the Deep Stone Crypt, long before he died. All of his caches and hidden areas. So what most people don't actually know is that he recovered his memory crystal. That's why his memory is intact, but not totally intact. What Clovis does is that when he resets them, he deletes certain parts of their memory. You get it now?
Yeah.
And Banshee, the only thing... Banshee was so good with guns. Yeah, I know you have to go to bed, so this is the last sentence. Banshee was so... When I tell you the story of Banshee, it's going to trip you out. Banshee was so good with guns. Okay, but he was so... because he knew about all the weapons, he actually discovered what Clovis was going to do. Okay, so Clovis deleted so much of his fucking memory on his final reset to make sure that the only thing he could do was build guns. That's why he says he pities him, because he knows what he did to him.
Yeah.
It's trippy. You know, like, he's really that fucked. Just to keep Banshee as a tool to make weapons for him, he deleted all of the memories required. Like, now the guy has such bad short-term memory loss, the only thing he does remember how to do is... Like, he can't... Basically, what people don't realize about Banshee is he can't process anything new. He can only process what he knew before. And what he knows is every fucking gun ever built. Isn't that a bit weird, you know? Like... Hey, Shuck. Just give me 2 seconds. I just gotta plug up my headset and everything. I was talking about this with my buddy. You know, I found out a really trippy piece of fucking lore today, actually. Clovis is a real ass. Like, do you know why Banshee... Okay, so... Okay, first thing to explain, I guess, would be this. Cade found out what was happening. Oh, I got somebody actually watching my broadcast. That's trippy. I'm broadcasting right now, ironically. So Cade found out what Clovis was doing. Remember how there was that passage when we went to go collect the Ace of Spades from his... like, he knew who was going to kill him. Like, the sad truth about Cade, in essence, is that he was the perfect leader for the Vanguard as far as hunters, because he had a fucking death wish. That's why nobody has taken the seat. You get it now?
Right, because...
The Vanguard dare. If you take the leader... any leader of the Vanguard has to face the fact that every other hunter is eventually going to try and kill him and take his spot to prove they're the best hunter. Well, maybe not. Like, truth is, most hunters won't go after him, but there's always going to be one. There's always going to be that eventual... Like, he's immortal, so it's only a matter of time until eventually the leader of the Vanguard is going to come across another hunter who thinks he's better. And the best way to be the leader of the Vanguard is not to challenge him to a straight-up duel. It's actually to find a way to poison his soup. You get it now? That's the way hunters are. So Cade had redundancies. That's what those messages were, just in case somebody killed him. But his message to Clovis trips me out the most. He's pretty much talking about how he has something that he doesn't want, that he knows Clovis doesn't want the world to know about, or doesn't want the other Exos to find out about. Okay, he remembers Banshee and he pities him. What if... And now Caster 15 has all of his memories. Remember I told you about him? In fact, he still has his memories even after the collapse. So he died, was resurrected as a Guardian, and still has his memories. That's how resilient an Exo's memories are. Doesn't that kind of go against the fundamental basis of every Exo? And what we believe is part of their brain structure, in essence, is that they can't keep their memories intact. Eventually they have to be reset and they start losing memories. But Cade was a 6th reset and didn't have any memory issues. He just had pieces of his memory missing. What if Banshee was... Like, what if what Clovis was doing, just like Elsie? Okay, now if he did this to his own fucking granddaughter, and we know this from the No Time to Explain, I guarantee this is... She was just a test to do it to every other one. Okay, because it's fucked when you think about it. If you do it to his own family, he'll do it to everybody else. But he literally killed her, reset her, and then brought her back with only the memories he wanted her to have, so that way she would be loyal to him, right? Which is to say he didn't do that to every other one, including Banshee. Now, Banshee would have known more things than any other. Being the gunsmith, being the guy who made his weapons, he would have been privy to every piece of information. So he started getting scared of that. Wait a minute, what if Banshee goes against me? So I gotta make sure that his short-term memory is so goddamn fucked that he can't process anything new. all he can do is remember what he already had. And all he knows is how to make guns. That's why he always gaps out on memory, but he remembers how to put together the Gallahorn.
Right.
It's because he has no short-term ability to transfer to long-term, but his long-term is very good. It's almost like the movie 50 First Dates, when they show you that guy who's all like, hey, how you doing? And then 12 seconds later, hey, how you doing? Okay, but you could ask him what he did when he was 5 years old, and he probably could tell you. It's only his short-term memory that's fucked. Just like her, she can tell you what she did, like 20 years ago, she just can't remember what happened that day. So Banshee's got the same brain issue. That's caused by brain damage, not deterioration. That can only be caused by brain damage on the human brain. So something deliberately, trauma happened to Banshee's brain. And I know what trauma that is. Clovis Bray being a fucking prick. If he thinks that any memory or anything whatsoever was going to cause them to go against him, he deleted it. And that's what he did to Cade. He deleted the memory of his wife, his children, all that shit, right? Mm-hmm. But how did Cade know about his wife and children then? Because we know they come back with no memory of nothing. He found now Cade knows everything about fucking hidden stashes. He knows everything about all of that crap. We do know that an exo is initially created, especially with what happened with Clovis. It's downloaded into a piece of pure crystal. He uses Vex milk pretty much. Now, the process of creating an exo kills the living body, but it still creates a perfect copy of the mind in the process. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Okay, so he has to download that into a piece of pure crystal, and then from that transfer it into an exo body. So remember how months ago I said I guarantee there's an original copy of Cade? That whatever was put into Cade was actually just... there's an original file for Cade. What was actually in Cade was a copy. He basically explains this in how he transferred into his own exo form. He transferred into a piece of crystal, and then one copy went into the AI brain, one copy went into the exo. So they're copies. Every exo is a copy. They're not actually the original file. And that makes total sense because Clovis Bray was trying... I told you that any experiment done under a benign basis of the concept of immortality, you're not going to want to kill your test subjects. Because if your test subjects die over and over and over again, clearly whoever the fuck was doing this experiment, it wanted it to eventually be done to him. Okay, but... And it's kind of sick because this shows how sick Clovis really is. Because I'm the kind of person where I would have been the first to do it. I would have never let my granddaughter do that shit first. And it's pretty sick when you think about it. But he did all of this because there was no way in hell he was going to go into a prototype. He says that. He literally explains it in the lore, that the only kind of body he's going into is the final product. Okay, so LZ, Cade, all of this stuff, they were tests. We know that LZ is the first prototype, but Cade is the first finished model. It's because of what happened with Cade that Clovis decided to, it was after Cade's creation, long story short, that Clovis decided, okay, it's ready. I can transfer my mind. Because Cade is a perfect copy. And so is, this is what's the trippiest part about it. Caster 15 is a copy of Cade.
Okay.
That's what I've known this whole time, and I told you guys this. I told you Cade wasn't really dead, remember? And I did say three things I got to point out that everybody was calling me crazy about 3 months ago, but I'm kind of right on now. I did literally fucking say that the Crow was going to return, Aldrin, right? Okay, so that happened. I called that Beyond Light was going to be based on a pyramid finding a way to explain to us that they want us to wield the darkness, not because of the fact that they consider themselves to be evil or that the light to be considered to be their enemy. Merely because they want to teach us that there is two sides to a coin, and power is power. It's all how you fucking wield it. Like the light, the dark, the traveler, the pyramids, the same thing. How we choose to express it into the physical world is what truly defines. Like, guardians are the expression of the light and the dark. You get it now? We're the guardians of it. We're not just the guardians of the light, we're the guardians of the dark too. We guard the dark. We guard it from total destruction, because without the dark, there is no light. Without the light, there is no dark. So, what is a guardian truly? Just a guardian of life. Like, just life itself, period. Because when you look at the original purpose of the Winnower, okay, and the Traveler, what did they do together? They created life. The whole thing with the Traveler and the pyramids, they're actually the creators of life. They're God. Like, they actually are. Like how we consider them to be God, in this universe, they are. They created all life. Basically, the Traveler creates life. He plants the seeds. He's the light, in essence. Okay, but have you ever gardened before? Have you ever had your own garden in your own backyard? And I'll finish it with this, because my broadcasters probably don't want to hear this lore story the whole time. They want to see me play. But, long story short, when you plant a garden, sadly, what's the difference between a weed and a plant? Do you really know the irony of it?
Oh, fucking no.
A weed is defined as anything in your fucking garden that you don't want there. In fact, that's why it's called weed. The first discovery of weed and its hallucinogenic effects was because of the fact that it's an extremely resilient weed. Okay, once it grows naturally in an area, there is only one way to get rid of natural marijuana, and guess what that is? Burn it. Burn the whole fucking field to ash, and then use the ash as a fertilizer. But if you're burning an entire field of marijuana and you just so happen to be standing downwind, now remember, a weed is any plant that's in your garden that you don't want there. Okay, so weed has no use other than for hemp fibers. They didn't know this at the time, so they kind of just sat there and got rid of it any way they could. Sitting downwind of it, what fucking happened? See what I mean? They realized it had some effects. This is actually what happened in the Hindu Kush region of Afghanistan. No joke. It's kind of Hindu Kush Valley. It's really unique. But that's actually how they first discovered it. Farmers burning fucking indigenous versions of it and realizing it had effects. Taking these indigenous land traces and then turning them into, you know, viable strains. And we still do the same thing to this day. Like, some of the best marijuana strains actually come from the fact that somebody just goes deep to the fucking jungles of Africa, finds a wild plant, and then adds it to his new genetics. It keeps the genetics strong. Keeps your plants from inbreeding. Long story short. I know a lot about it considering I run a dispensary. I kind of have to know the difference between a landrace and a viable strain. Because if I sell a landrace, nobody's going to want it. It's got low THC content. But I can acquire a landrace to produce my own strains. See what I'm saying? But to simplify down what's going on in the game, is that Cade took that copy, okay, knew what Clovis was doing, that he was actually using exos for political assassination, shit like that. Okay, and when they're reset, okay, we think that there's a memory issue being caused in the reset, but it's not actually at all. It's like what happened with LZ just over and over and over again. You have a memory that he notices causes you to be disloyal to him. So he resets you, deletes everything, and gets rid of that, and puts a coding in the way that makes sure that anytime you actually turn around and maybe might access, because the problem is, and this is what I'm showing you, Caster 15, there's always redundant connections in the mind. And when these redundant connections are based in silica and not organic matter, which is what an exo is using, how do they ever break down? You get what I'm saying now, Shax? So those memories remain intact forever. He can't really delete them. He can only just cause a glitch in the system, a virus in the system that causes them to have a short-term memory loss issue on it. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And he literally does talk about how when he did this to Elsie, he implanted a specific code into her to make sure she couldn't access those memories ever. And that's what's happening to Banshee. That's what's happening to Cade. That's what's happening to every exo, is that the resets were actually just how many times he had to reset them to delete the memories and block the memories required to keep them loyal like a slave to him. Like, Clovis is fucked when you really think about it. The guy's just a sick bastard. Like, it's really kind of... Like, the only reason why I say we shouldn't be going in the Deep Stone Crypt right fucking now and blowing that goddamn frickin', like, big-ass head off, okay, is because he's had 10,000 years to think about the stupid shit that he's done. So if you look at his responses now, he feels really bad about what he did to Banshee. He feels really bad about what he... Like, he's kind of, like, in the same position as Rasputin. Rasputin did what he did to Fellwinter, and now he just feels like total shit over it. So I get it. You know, it's like some people have to learn from their mistakes. We got to give him a chance to prove that he's not the same Clovis Bray from the Golden Age. Yeah, what are you doing now?
I'm trying to get Gex dumbass in the fucking party.
I gotta do old secrets, new challenges. What is that? Then I gotta get an Empire. You know what it really is? I need these Herald waves or whatever the fuck it is so I can start an Empire hunt and get my frickin' grenade launcher and get on these other fucking weapons.
Fuck Empire hunts. What the fuck?
Oh, I just have to. You know how you have to complete one of them to get the stasis grenade launcher, and you need the stasis grenade launcher to get the remnant that gives you the extra grenades? That's the only reason I'm doing it.
The fuck you haven't done that shit yet?
Because I have a fucking life.
Oh, right, ladies. A1, dumbass.
Well, no, I mean, I'm just saying, that's actually what it is. I've been really, you know me, I'm normally, you know what it is, I've just been really busy. I haven't been on as much as I can normally play.
You just playing fucking Star Wars and Battlefield. Get the fuck off of those weird games and come play a cool game.
Okay, all I gotta say is this. Have you actually tried Squadrons before you talk shit about it? Okay? Okay? Then there you go.
Because I know it's not my kind of game.
Because it's shit.
No, it isn't actually. The only way I can explain to you guys is like this. It's like, how to explain, like, it's
shit.
If you're a Star Wars fan, it is literally what they show flying the X-Wing is like. Okay, like,
Dude,
motherfuckers can be on your ass.
I'm a Star Wars fan.
Have you played it? No, you haven't played it then. There you go. Because if you did, you'd actually know how good it is. Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question. So he's sitting there doing the Death Star run, right? And they're in the fucking canals. As they're doing the Death Star run to hit the main objective, they call out, put all power to your rear deflectors. Yeah, you can do that.
Right, I'll just radio back saying, yeah, but do you have a 15-inch fucking Sean?
A 15-inch?
17.
Yeah, but how big are your pants?
Fucking 3 years.
Headset died mid-conversation. Okay, so somebody could be on your ass. Now, you can also overcharge your shields to get extra layers of protection, just like what's in the lore.
Your headset died?
Yeah, headset died mid-sentence.
You have... Wait, what do you mean it died?
I have a PlayStation wireless headset.
Oh, alright.
Wireless headsets are cheap.
Oh,
God.
no, these things are fucking amazing. No, these things are amazing for the cost, actually.
But they're way too expensive. I was at the shop today, there was like a pair for $85, and they were like the exact same as the ones I have on right now, just without a wire.
Nah, more expensive most of the time. They're not that good.
Yeah, but guys, here. Okay, I've gone to Best Buy. I've gone to every single electronics store. I'll tell you some of the people don't know. Okay, to get equivalent to what these headsets do, you've got to buy a $300 pair of fucking Astros. And the difference between this $300 pair of Astros and the headsets is that there's no wires between you and the system at all. Okay, with the Astros, you have this digital equalizer. Okay, that yes, does allow you to control the sound and all that shit, but the sad truth is that if you break a wire or anything kind of fucks up, you're screwed. $300 out the fucking drain. Okay, whereas the PlayStation headset has a digital equalizer called the PlayStation Companion app built into the PlayStation. So I can just, right now, guys, okay, while I'm playing a game, this is something that's really fucking cool about the headset. There's 2 audio profiles, 1 and 2 built into the headset. Okay, so I go onto the Companion app, and I select the audio file specifically created by Bungie for Destiny 2. So long story short, the right amount of bass, the right amount of treble, everything to play Crucible, all that shit. You hear what I'm saying?
Right,
okay, and I put that into...
Or the £15 earbuds off eBay.
Yes, and then into position 1, I can put a preset audio selected built on the digital equalizer. So when I'm playing games, I can literally just switch between the 2. I can put bass boost, I can put, like... There's over like 2,000 games supported with their own audio file released on the PlayStation Companion app, including Destiny 2, Call of Duty, Battlefield, like all the things that I play. So that's one thing I like, is that it's got that all built in.
I
Second off,
infused one weapon and I infused a different one.
You guys know what Dolby 7.1 digital surround sound is, right?
No, for
I know what surround sound is.
Okay, well that's what this headset has for $100 Canadian. So that's like probably £80 for him and like $90 for you.
Right, but I still prefer my cheap £15 earbuds.
Yeah, but now you see, no, earbuds are good. Earbuds are good. I'm just saying though, if you ever decide to upgrade to a wireless headset and you want to get good 7.1 digital surround sound, this is what pissed me off. So I got the golds, right? And the only difference between these, now I'm gonna buy them if these ever fucking break, but there's just no point now since I already got them. There's a platinum edition for $140, which is actually equivalent to a pair of Astros that cost $500. Because it has digital Atmos. Digital Atmos is basically the best kind of quality you can get, period, for gaming. It's a UHD headset, basically.
Fuck that. You don't need that shit for Destiny.
Yes, you do. If you want to hear a motherfucker creeping up on the... Well, I guess because of active radar, you're right. But, I mean, games like Battlefield and all that, having the ability to hear someone actively sneak up on you is really, really smart. Like, this headset, the only way I can explain it to you is like this. Because of my dyslexia, like, how to explain? You know, like, if a person's blind, okay, they have better hearing?
They don't. That's been scientifically disproven.
No, it doesn't. Actually, the senses do get... Well, the senses don't get heightened in the aspect of that they're getting more powerful than they were before. The person just learns to... Yes, they get used to their full capacity. You just hit it. Okay, so that's what dyslexia is. I was about to say it is exactly that. You're right. That's been massively disproven, that it's enhancing the sense. It's just more the person's brain is more actively aware of the sense. Okay, so when you have dyslexia, you can't kinesthetically read or write. Your ability to interpret written information, or, like, I'll give you an example. I don't like recipes. I'm a damn good cook, but I fucking hate recipes. Most of my recipes are memorized. Okay, so that does mean that there's a chance for mistakes because of that, but my ability to memorize shit, I mean, anybody who knows me, like you and Shax, you get what I'm saying, guys? Now you know where I get it from. It's like that. It's because I can't read recipes, so I memorize shit. So, memorizing that much fucking shit in my life, I guess my memory has gotten really good. I don't have any better... Now, that's why I find it funny when people say I'm super fucking smart and shit, because of what you just said, Shax. I don't have any better of a memory than the average person. My IQ is average. It's just because of the fact that I have dyslexia, I have to... You get like what you just said. It gets more active focus than everybody else. That's the best way to explain it. So it really fucking helps, especially on games like this. My ability to read, like, it's weird to explain. I can't read and write as well or interpret what people are saying over text, but I can really easily interpret their body language. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I read people, not books. There we go. Long story short, that's the issue I'm having right now. Is that I have the only... Long story short, there's a girl that I like, okay, but the communication that I've had with her is fucking only over text, and it's been so fucking miscommunicated at what I actually, like, mean. It's like, ugh. Well, actually, you know what? Maybe it hasn't. For all I know, she's actually understood exactly what I meant, and I've understood exactly what she meant, but because of the dyslexia, there's always going to be that little bit of, like, did I guess?
Uh-huh.
It's part of dyslexia. We fucking hate written communication. We prefer oral. Like, now you know why I talk so much. Like, you ever notice how my messages are always really short?
I said never. I don't think you talk. I've never even heard this.
Yeah, but this, yeah, I know, eh? But what's trippy about it is, like, if I send you a message, it's always short, but no conversation is. Well, imagine if it's like with her. Okay, I actually try to text, you know? That's the dumbest part, is that I end up sending texts that are... No, it's just my text can be really fucking long. Well...
about it before.
Yeah, and you're right, she works a lot, so I try not to. I think I kind of got in shit today.
You just do the shit anyway.
Well, what am I gonna do? Like, be afraid of it? Like, or be afraid of her? No, like, that's not the best way to be friends with someone. Like, I don't know, like...
I'm confused.
Oh, it's hard to explain. I don't think it really bugs her. It's more, the only thing that really bugs her is that sometimes I get, I guess, insecure that she looked at the message and didn't answer. If that makes sense. And the only thing she's kind of sitting there thinking is, like, you do realize that because I work as much as I do, I don't have time to go through my phone and read all of it. So, like, if I'm not answering, it's because of that. And it's like, and I'm kind of stuck there, like, how do I say plain and simple to the person, like, you know what? I get that. I totally get what you're saying. You don't have to fucking answer right away. You could just say, hey, guess what? I'm too busy right now to read your bullshit. I'll answer you later. And the only thing I'm going to say is, okay. That's better than getting told to go fuck myself.
Even if you just put, just busy, full stop.
Yeah, like, just one word, busy. Bam. You know, I'd be like, okay, sorry. But when does a girl ever... When do they ever tell you things like that?
Or it's just, you know, you can't expect anything other than a cooked meal and a bit of repopulation. You know,
well, no, because her and me are just friends, so it's kind of, it's weird to explain.
I thought you said you guys were talking.
I haven't really asked her this, so this is an assumption at best, but it's like, she works so goddamn much. I don't think she really wants a relationship because she couldn't even focus on one even if she wanted to. Like, she works 7 days a week.
Oh, people that work like that, bro, they always want to relieve the stress, if you get my gist. So
I'm not-
obviously, I'm chilling if it's just a bit of stress relief there, you know.
They want a break.
You know, and
from
that's
their
kind of, you know, it's the
already
dumbest part is that's what
react.
I, you know, the dumbest part is that's what I tried to say last night. That's all I actually tried to say was, you know, like, if you're like, but I don't know how, if I said it correctly in text. That's all. I was trying to, you know, like, say like, hey,
Not the grace. That's pretty hard to word.
yeah, because the truth is they're always going to misinterpret it as like you're being a fucking pig and trying to jump in her pants. When it's like, you're not being, I'm not trying to be a pig and jump in her pants. I'm actually offering myself to her. There's a total fucking difference. Like, there's a difference between trying to jump in someone's pants and offering yourself to them. Plain and fucking simple.
And offering yourself into their pants. All right.
No, there's a difference between trying to hop in their pants and telling them that if they ever want to take yours off, they can. There. Do I got to put it as plain and simple as that?
No, I need it more simple.
But I never put shit simply when I'm nervous like that. And if I would have put it as simple as that, for all I know, she could just think I'm being a total pig.
Dude, I mean, some women want you to be straightforward like that. Though.
Not this girl. I can already tell.
You sure?
Who the fuck wants to be
Okay,
told?
from what I've learned is there's two different
work?
types. Yeah, what I've learned, there's two different types of girls. Okay, there are ones who, yes, okay, don't worry about social stigmas and bullshit like that. Okay, so they move very quickly, and you either fucking make your move quick, or they're gonna go and move on to somebody else who excites them. Plain and simple. Okay, but then other girls, because of social stigmas and relative insecurities, you never know, or even just, I don't think it's insecurities in her form, I think it's just she works so goddamn much, doesn't really have time to move quick like that. In fact, the only way you're getting anywhere is if you romance them a little bit. That way they don't feel like such a, you know, that way they don't feel like, I don't know, to be straight and honest, that way they don't feel like a fucking slut. And it's like, I prefer girls like that, and I prefer that kind of mentality because I don't want to treat a girl like that ever. I don't want to take advantage of them. Like, for me, how to explain it? Like, sex is not something I get from them in, like a advantageous thing, you know, like, how do you explain it, like, properly?
The best way to explain it is you let her ride and then you hide.
Well, no, it's because I'm reactive. Okay, so I go off of their pleasure. That's the only way I can explain it. Okay, if she gets off, I get off. Okay, so when you're in a position like that, you don't really view sex at all as something you're getting from them. You view sex as something you're giving to them and something you're offering.
No, I say something I'm giving. That's the way I see it. I'm getting something.
Well, don't get me wrong, I like getting some too, but I also like giving it. Call me weird, I'm a giver. But you get what you give, and fucking, like, you know, the reality is this. That's what I tried to say, and I think she just didn't have time to read it. But the only reason I even said it is because what am I going to be, fucking dishonest with the girl? You get what you, the truth is, okay, you get what you give. Okay, so I was just trying to explain that I'm a giver. Okay, that's it. Okay, and like is attracted to like, okay? So if that's what she was actually looking for, I'm either going to get a good reaction for it, or I'm going to get a totally shitty reaction for it. One of the two. Okay, and that's what I was kind of worried about. And the third one, okay, and the third one is the big one. Okay, that's the big reason I told her. Okay, because the truth comes out anyways. As Winston Churchill once said, you can smack the truth, you can bash the truth, you can scar the truth, you can beat it all over the fucking place. Guess what? It still comes back exactly as it is, the motherfucking truth. And so I can hide from this girl and try to, you know, because the big mistake I made on this one, guys, is that I asked her out right from the get-go. And the reason why I asked her out right from the get-go was because of the fact that I figured, considering how busy he was and all that shit, that if I didn't ask now, I'd lose my chance. Without actually realizing that the girl wasn't really looking, but I like to be friends with the girl first, see where it goes. Like, I don't like to just escalate right to a relationship. I'd rather it be months of, like, I don't know. But long story short, I didn't think, you know, meeting the girl on Tinder, the social stigmas and all that shit, I never thought to go down that route. So I got misinterpreted, I'm pretty sure, as this guy who was just trying to force dating on her, when, no, I was actually forcing dating on myself. Not on her. Okay, because I didn't get on Tinder to just jump into the first relationship I came across. Okay, I honestly just wanted to make friends and see what happens. It's just she was the first girl that I had something in common with. Like, I had enough in common with, and I liked her enough that I wanted to be friends with her and see what happened. I made the mistake of jumping the fucking gun and asking her out right away when I should have just been a friend with her like that. You know, and that's what I'm worried about, is that the way I worded it was I pretty much explained, but I said, you know, that, like, I told her that last night, was that, like, you were just the first person that I really liked and had a lot of things in common with. So I'll admit, and this is really hard to admit because of my insecurities, you know, that I am a bit attracted to you, and maybe, but that's a big fucking maybe because it's totally up to you. You know, see what happens after we got to know each other a little bit and maybe hook up and at least be, you know, like, thankful for the fact that we've got someone, you know, like without the pressures of a fucking relationship on us. Do you get what I mean? Like, Shax? Why? Like, I'm not ready to just jump into.
No, he's not laughing at you. He's laughing at me, my son.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna say, like, Gek, if you saw how big the scar was across my fucking stomach from my ex, you'd understand why I'm a little bit scared of relationships. Okay, last girl I really, really had a lot of feelings for, guys. She used those feelings as a way to lure me into a situation where she pretty much had me set up and almost killed.
That's hot.
Like, long story short, she was cheating on me with one of her friends. Fucking, she decided to just, like, basically she told me she'd be back in like 2 or 3 hours. She was just going to her grandma's. Okay, and then I messaged after it being like 8 hours or something like that, asking her on Facebook, you know, like, are you okay? Like, because that was not normal behavior for her, I'll be honest. I got no responses, got no nothing. It's like a day later. Okay, I call up her grandma. Okay, and I'm like, have you seen him? Because, like, I have no... Well, yeah, because she lived at her grandma's before she, like, lived with me. So I called her grandma because I figured that's where she said she was going, to her grandparents. So I figured she just spent the night there or whatever. She hadn't been there in a bit. I didn't really give a shit. Like, I'm not that fucking clingy, I'll be honest. Well, I wasn't then. Whatever. But what ended up happening was, on the second day I call, and her grandma, like, I'm asking her, is like, is Jade there? And she's like, no, she isn't. And I'm like, do you have any idea where she is? Because, like, she hasn't been home in, like a day now. Like, I'm getting a bit worried. And she's like, I don't really want to tell you or be the one to get in the middle of it. And considering past issues, I was already like, okay, I think I know what's going on. So I go on my Facebook, and I just said, fuck it. I posted on my Facebook as a status to all of my friends. You know, like, has anybody seen Jade? She hasn't been home in over 2 days, and I'm starting to get really worried about it. Yeah, you know what? That was the smartest choice I ever made, bro. Maybe not, maybe whatever, but it was a smart choice.
You say it was the smartest or wasn't?
It was a smart. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it's all interpreted, I guess. But it got here. I'll explain to you what I mean, I guess. So an hour later, after posting that, one of my friends messages me and literally tells me, "Bro, I hate to be the one to tell you this, but she's at Shane's." I knew one of my friends would have at least enough. The truth is, it's like what's going on with this girl. I'm not that goddamn insecure to be told, fuck you. I'm not that goddamn insecure to be told, to be rejected straight up. I just hate when people sit there and, like, play games in my head because of what happened, I guess. And, you know, my friend, he was that guy. He was the one who didn't play any fucking games like the way her grandma was or like everybody else was beating around the bush. He just straight up said, buddy, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but she's at Shane's. And honestly, the reason why we broke up the first time was because she cheated on me with that piece of shit. Okay, the guy's a fucking neo-Nazi. Like, it's hard to explain.
How like, he's go back to a chick that cheated on you? You're nuts. You're not. That's great.
So did she cheat on you with the guy that cheated on her?
Well, I guess she didn't really cheat on me. That's the irony of it, guys, and that's why I really took her back. I realized, see, it's the wording of it. I realized now she kind of did, because she broke up with me. Okay, and then 2 weeks later started fooling around with him. So we weren't really together. I guess I wouldn't really say that's cheating, but the fucked up thing, guys, is that she knew that I would wait. She knew that I'd just be sitting there. Like, it's hard to explain. This isn't the first time it happened with her. She'd break up with me, go see if the grass was greener on the other fucking side with someone else, and then when she realized the guy was a total fucking asshole, and she actually had you know what she told me once, guys? Okay, she told me that one thing, after this happened once to one of these dipshits, okay, she looked me right in the fucking face, is at least I learned one thing from all of this fucking bullcrap. If you want to take a girl from a guy when he's having fucking problems in his relationship, just make yourself look like you're less of a fucking asshole than he is. Because that's what he did to her. That's literally all he did. Her and me were having fucking problems. Okay, so Russell was one of my friends. He fucking turned around and realized her and me were having fucking problems, so he just made himself look like he was less of an asshole than me, and she fucking fell for it. Fucking head over heels. Realized within fucking a month what was going on, came back to me and was like, I'm so fucking sorry. Okay, and what did my dumb ass do? Okay, being the forgiving motherfucker that I always am. You know, I said, okay, I get it. Like, you're right. That is kind of true. Like, it is easy to manipulate someone when you just quickly impose a concept that you're not as big of an asshole. Whatever, but
it's pretty easy to manipulate. I'm a fucking huge dickhead and I can manipulate anyone to do most fucking insane shit.
Is that a good quality to have?
depends. If the
I
girl
wouldn't
likes
say
it,
it's a
then
quality.
you know what? Remember I just said like attracts like? Now, I don't mean this in a bad way, Shax, when I say this, but that also means douches are attracted to douches. So there's probably at least one girl out there that, yes, would like the fact that he treats her like that.
I'm just saying I can do it. I don't say I do it.
I'm not saying
I
you
don't
do
think
either. I'm just saying
it's.
he asked, is there something wrong with that when it comes to relationships? That's a variable question because perception is truth when it comes to these kind of things. Like, especially after have you guys ever heard literotica?
Nope.
Okay, it's like 50 Shades of Grey. That's another erotica genre. So basically, romance novels on steroids. Okay, now if you think this shit isn't valuable or a valid point, okay, go check this out. Okay, the amount of paid porn subscriptions for men, okay, is equal to the amount of literotica books acquired by women. Process that real quick, guys. Okay, that they read and buy just as much literotica as we watch and subscribe to porn. So guess what that is?
A waste of money.
Their porn. No, you totally missed the point. It's female porn. That's really all it is.
I got the point, but yeah, it's always.
Okay, but if you read now because of dyslexia. Okay, now this is why she probably doesn't. You know, the truth is, I think she thinks I'm totally bullshitting her about the dyslexia because I can send really big messages and I can communicate well through text. But it's got nothing. It's because of my dad. Like, have you guys ever seen Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
Okay, Jaime Lannister, he pretty much explains that he fucking hates reading and writing, right? But his dad forced him to learn how to. He sat there with him. Like, that's why he has so much respect for his dad. Because his dad just forced him. He sat there with him and forced him every day to learn how to read and write. But, you know, the only thing he really could understand was how to wield a sword. That was his pen. That's dyslexia, guys. Jaime Lannister was portraying the exact example of dyslexia. He cannot read and write, but he's really kinesthetically strong with a sword. The pen and the sword are no different. Even samurais explain this. That's why they practice calligraphy. Calligraphy is an art form based in sword swipes with a pen. Okay, so if you're practicing these sword swipes while drawing on paper in an art form, you're pretty much mastering those sword swipes. You see what I'm saying, guys? Bushido, the concept that all martial arts exist in every aspect of life.
He's just sitting in a corner.
Well, it's because I'm giving you my full attention. Didn't want to get killed. But basically the point of this explanation, in essence, is that a lot of these things are just... It's ingrained into the female brain, okay, these kind of stories. And a lot of people think that I'm being insultive whenever I explain it like this. And I'm like, I'm not. You know, the reality is, as I said, I'd like to please the girl. Okay, so I only researched into this shit because I found out that's what women really want. Okay, so when a girl tells you they like a guy with big muscles or a nice car or a lot of money, that's their social brain talking. You realize that, right? Yeah, but that's their social brain talking. That isn't what they're really attracted to, Shax. Okay, that might... You do... No, I'm not saying you have a problem with women. In fact, there's something about you that I've already noticed that guarantees you don't have a problem with women. But I'm telling you right now, it's got nothing to do with your money. You could be $50,000 in debt. Okay, and not even be barely able to pay your fucking mortgage, and with your mentality, you'd still pick up chicks. Because the reality is, you can finish and fill their obsession story. You can be that guy who literally could be that romance novel character for them in real life. Okay, you're British. Okay, you've got one big card right there. You got the fucking
You're
accent.
British.
Well, he's got the accent, okay? Like, I tried to explain to him. Like, remember how I told you that shit that gets girls wet?
That romance novel guy. You're British.
Well, because he could. He's already got the icebreaker right there. The British accent, okay? So they're like, oh, shit. But then he's got the attitude.
Pack your shit hard in, Scott. You're the romance novel.
Yeah, but the British accent is just the icebreaker. That's what's just, like, how he can attract them without having to, like, basically, guys, I'm an introvert.
Do people seriously think that having an accent attracts women more?
You don't understand the amount of chicks I've been in a party with that are American, and they're like, "Oh, are you British?"
Yes, I'm telling you, man. Ask him. I'm not wrong on this. I'm not stupid.
Okay, what the fuck do you mean? You go to parties and they're like, "You're British."
No, parties, American girls. Parties, American girls. Online. He's talking online. When American girls enter parties, they literally get wet from his accent. It's not a fucking joke.
And they like the voice when I whisper.
Okay, it's because of the accent. It's the perception of the exotic concepts. Okay, now I'm going to show you guys this. In Literotica, no matter what the storyline, no matter what the fucking book, whether it be this big fucking tough alpha male, okay, who's covered in fucking hair and is a goddamn like literally, these are the two different books that I read. Because, oh yeah, I should explain how I even know about this and how I came across this when I was younger. The truth is, guys, I like to teach people about this because when I try to use it, I get so goddamn fucking nervous it never fucking works. Like, I've been trying to use this shit with this girl, but it's not fucking working! Because I'm not making it work. Because I'm not making it work. That's why. I don't have the confidence to make these kind of tricks work. But if you have confidence, this shit is literally just... It's the keys to the female kingdom, the keys to the female brain.
Shit's fucking useless.
No, it's totally useless if you don't have the confidence to wield it, yes. But if you have the confidence to wield it, it is literally the keys to her kingdom.
You say wield it as if it's a fucking sword.
It is.
You can use it as a weapon.
You see, this is what I'm trying to explain. He knows these things, Gek, that I know. The only difference between him and me is I don't have the confidence to wield it. Am I wrong, Shax?
I just can't be bothered.
Like, Shaq's heard me talk about this stuff many times. That's, like, all I can tell you is this. He's heard me talk about this stuff before. Well, everybody else in the group usually thinks I'm a fucking idiot. And he actually does believe me, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but that's how I know that he actually gets pussy and they don't. Okay, because Sky believes me, okay, out of all those dipshits, and he's got a girlfriend that he's about to marry and he's 21. Okay, so Gek, all I'm gonna tell you is this: the two guys that actually believe me when I talk about this shit is first off the guy who has a girlfriend that he's about to marry. Okay, and he's pretty much had very few girls in his life other than her, but I commend him for that. And then there's Shax. Okay, who's had many girls.
And I believe you. I just like giving people shit.
No, I know, but I'm just trying to tell you. Then there's Shax, who's had many girls and hasn't really settled down yet. But either way, both agree that this is how you attract one to be your girlfriend.
I don't like relationships.
Yeah, but you know what, bro? I'm gonna teach. I know, because it's a fucking minefield and it's annoying as hell. Am I wrong?
No.
Okay, but I'm gonna explain to you something. Okay, that instinct that women have of laying out that fucking minefield in front of you. You need to learn to see that as a challenge to rise above, because of one big reason, bro. That is there to... It's thousands of years of instinctual training on how to be one hell of a good mother. You want me to tell you the truth? Okay, you're going to ask me why, because there's going to be a lot of things in life. If we go back to the ancient times, we go back to the caveman times, there's going to be a lot of things in life that a man is going to have to face for the woman, that he is not going to enjoy and necessarily consider something that is even part of his general survival. But guess what? He puts his ass on the fucking line for. Ergo...
A drilling party approaches. They will claim all they need.
I think his mic just died again.
Unless, of course, the fight becomes too costly.
Someone... Did your mic die?
Get to the mic. Yeah, sorry, mic died. Look, the only reason that I don't like talking about relationships and I don't really care for advice is because I've given myself 2 chances in the past for actual relationships, not just talking with girls, not just for fucking hookups or friends with benefits or any shit. Like, actual relationships, I've given myself 2 chances. Both of them I thought they were going somewhere, and both times I got fucked over in the end, and I ended up being the one that was actually hurt. And I ended up being the only one that actually cared. So do I think it's worth it? Absolutely fucking not. I'm tired of putting so much of my energy into people just for them to give absolutely nothing back in return.
You just
Actually, you know what, Gek? Actually, you know what, Gek? The truth is, that means you need to hear what I'm saying more than anyone. Because I am you. You don't realize I went through the same shit. It's only because I looked and researched into this shit that I'm finally starting to think, like... Maybe all that crap that happened to you was just what you were supposed to figure out how not to do it next time.
That's the thing, though. I don't understand what I did wrong.
You didn't do anything wrong. In fact, you know what you need to do, Gek? You need to realize something. Sometimes it's just not meant to be. Okay, the situation I'm stuck in with the girl right now is what you just said. Like, I have actually invested a lot of... But you know what? Whatever. Shit, it's her life. If it's meant to be, it'll happen. The one thing I'm going to remind myself of, guys, is this. With how much I've messaged her, with how many things I've said, all that kind of crap, if she didn't somewhat care, she wouldn't fucking answer. Like, she would just block me. She would just totally get rid of me. Like, it's hard to explain. I'm just more saying with how much I've sent like fake messages and shit. If there's one way I deal with this, is it's simply that. If I was truly 100% doing something fucking wrong, I guarantee a girl like her would have already fucking let me know. Okay, so I'm trying to think how to explain it simply. Why I'm even listening to these videos and why I'm even, and I'll tell you what videos you need to look into to learn more about this stuff, is because what he explained, his system is so smart. It really is. It's almost like systematic. But the reality is he does explain at the end of every video, okay, that if things are not meant to be, no matter what you use, no matter even if you attempt his tricks, guess what?
It's just not meant to be.
But at least you knew you tried. At least you knew you put your effort in. At least you knew you did these things. Because if you do these things, the only fucking reason you're not getting the girls because it's not meant to be. And that's why I'm giving this advice, because this will help you out a lot. Because now, when the girl rejects you, when you're doing shit like this, it's an easy guard. You realize, oh shit, well, like, I did everything I fucking could. I literally used the trick that men have used for 15 fucking thousand years to attract women. And if that didn't goddamn work, then there is just no chemistry there between us. And if there's no chemistry, the best advice he says is this: do you really want a girl like that to be your girlfriend anyways? Like, as you said, you're fucking tired of investing all that time and effort to get nothing in return. Well, once you fucking realize you're kind of in a position like that, I mean, isn't it kind of time to realize, like, then that isn't the kind of girl you want to begin with? Like, that's how I deal with it. That's what I've learned to tell myself. Like, if people, like, look at this shit that I said. Like, look at the crap that I had to go through in the party a few days ago, Shax. You heard how much I snapped. And, like, I didn't say anything to you, but the reality is I told them straight the fuck up. Well, actually, I don't know if you were there for that, but Sky invited me into a party of the raid group and all that crap, and they started just being douches. Like, Senpai was asking me, like, so what do you think of this subject? And what do you think of this subject? Just so they could make fun of me, if you get what I mean? And I'm laughing my ass off at them. Like, I don't know if you realize this, guys, but, like, the only reason I like this girl, okay, is that I know there's dumbasses like I know there's assholes like you out there that ask me this kind of shit sarcastically when you don't really give a fuck. But then I get messages from her where she actually asks, so did you learn anything new and interesting today? And I'm like, oh shit, at least someone gives a crap about the fact I like to learn a lot. So I don't give a fuck at what they think, because the truth is, if they don't really like me, if they core principles of who the fuck I am, you get it now? Then I guess I totally misinterpreted who the fuck they were. And do I really give a shit about losing friends like that? Like, these guys
Absolutely.
thought I cared about them so goddamn much, and I did. That's what I'm going to tell you right now. I really did care about Uplifted. I cared about being in that group because they actually seemed like a good group of people. But once they start treating me like that, once they start acting like that, it's almost synonymous for me to be able to be like, you know what, buddy, watch this. You think I'm fucking goddamn, like, Pinocchio with strings attached? Snip! I got no strings to hold me down. You get it now?
Yeah.
There are no strings on me. Actually, you need to realize, bro, no fucking strings in this life on you. You know what? Like, you're an American, right?
Yeah.
No strings on you. Are you bound to a king like me?
Yeah, he's bound to me.
No, he's not. And you know what the truth is? Let's be honest with ourselves. We have to be loyal to the crown whether we like him or not. Am I wrong?
Nah, I mean...
Just like I've seen some people in America sometimes say, I'm loyal to the Democratic Party regardless of who the leader is. And I'm like, well, I respect you for that because I understand the concept of sovereignty as a Canadian and loyalty regardless of the leader's personal choices, but that's not very American to me. An American is a misfit, totally bound by his own free will to make his own choices. He made that choice about 200 years ago when he chose to disconnect himself from the concept of a sovereign. A president-elect that you choose, that you pick. That's your life. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. It's your choice. Nobody else's. There's no strings attached to you. You might feel like the strings are attached to you, but those strings are just what you call survival life. Like, they're always going to pull you in different fucking directions. Sometimes your head's going to be spinning so goddamn fucking much you won't even know what direction to fucking go. So you know what you do in those situations, Gek? You stand still, take a fucking breath.
True.
If you don't know which way to go, maybe the best way to go is nowhere. Stand and wait. Take a breath. Evaluate the situation.
By the predator.
No, I didn't say to non-callously. Actually, you know what? I'll tell you something. From the code of the military, if I don't know what's over the hill, I'm going to camp and wait. Am I wrong?
Just wait for them to come to you.
Because at least I know this territory. I don't know what's over the hill, but I do know the territory I'm in right now. You're right, the predator could jump on your back, but you're going to be a lot more aware of him coming to jump on you, standing still, evaluating your situation, than running in a direction scared as fuck, not knowing what the fuck you're going to do. You get it now? Because if you run in any goddamn given direction scared as fuck, when there's a predator out there looking at you, guess what you just portrayed yourself as?
Food.
Prey. You ran, and you're running scared. You fight or flight. Okay? You stand your ground. That's what you do with a predator. You don't attack, you don't push, you just stand your ground. Because the truth is, he's just looking for an easy meal. Not going to be so easy when he realizes you're being smart about it. You're actually evaluating the situation. You know, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Do you know how and I've done this before, guys, I'll be honest. Okay, I was biking through the trail once, okay, and I came around a fucking rock. I got off my bike to catch a little bit of a breather. Okay, and fucking, as I came around the fucking corner, there was a black bear on the trail. No fucking joke. Do you know how big a black bear is? It's like the size of a human, but like... Oh, are you joining up, Shax and Get? Because I was going to start the Empire hunt, and I was just waiting on you guys. But long story short, black bears are about the size of a human being. Okay, it's as big as me, but bigger and tougher. Okay, but that doesn't matter, because the situation was this. I came around the corner, and it startled me, but it also got startled, because it didn't know I was there. Okay, the moment I noticed it was...
I'm just gonna go switch my clothes into the jar real quick. It'll take about 5 minutes.
It's 10 seconds then, Get, because I want to teach you this cool trick. Okay, in that split second when I noticed that predator was startled, bears like to evaluate the situation. They like to know what danger you pose. If they don't know the danger and they're not totally sure, that's the easiest way to spook them and get them to run. So I come around the corner and he got spooked like I did. He has not had a chance to identify me. He has not had a chance to see if I got a gun, if I got any of that kind of shit. So what my reaction now is to scream, freak the fuck out, make as much noise as I can, pick up my fucking bike and throw it at him. And what does he fucking do? He turns around, hightails it, running into the bush, freaking out all, like a goddamn dog. Because he didn't know what to do. I gave him no chance to identify me, to evaluate me. You see what I'm saying? As far as he knew, that bike wasn't the only thing I had. Next would have been a gun. You know, so he just didn't take any chances. He saw the bike flying. He dodged the bike, because I wasn't trying to hit him with it, but I did throw it at him. He dodged it and just booked it. Kept fucking running until he got over the hill. And he broke line of sight between me. What else was I going to do? I mean, my bike's pretty fucked after, but whatever. Better that than getting mauled. Let's be honest. Bears don't fuck around, especially when you scare them by accident. That's the easiest way to get mauled. But that's also the best way to, you know, like...
I can just imagine someone thinking the best idea is to climb up a tree, and the bear's just like, this fucker thinks I can't climb.
No, this dipshit thinks... No, you know what the dumbest one is when people think they gotta run downhill. Okay, and then they realize that the fucking bear can run 30 miles an hour on land, 45 downhill.
Do you know an alligator or a crocodile can climb a tree?
Yep.
What?
Yep.
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 How?
Their claws. Their claws. They can climb a tree. They've done it to take down prey.
They just go straight up. There's like no movement there because of how their body is, bro. They just keep looking straight up the whole time.
Straight up. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, though. They can go straight up a tree because of their body shape. It's easy for them to do. They spread their body weight.
Just goes up a wall.
Well, more like because of the surface, because of the aspect that all of their surface, all of their bottom surface is going to be touching the tree. They're going to be distributing the weight evenly across the tree's surface. So you see where I'm going with this? You're getting 100% friction. And because of the fact that scales actually are very smooth, but at the same time a little bit spiky, gives them grip. So he actually just has to dig in his claws, pull up his body, okay, and then lock his armpits against the tree and lift his arms back up. The scales on his belly will keep him in place. It's really kind of trippy. They actually evolved from tree-bearing lizards. That's why they still have the ability to climb trees. They evolved after into the rivers. You know that actually they're the only last living dinosaur that didn't evolve from the dinosaur period?
What?
Yep. Crocodiles and alligators are actual living dinosaurs. They have not evolved since the time of the dinosaurs, so they're still dinosaurs.
I mean, they used to... It's been recorded that there were, like, you know, crocodile-like creatures, but just, like, way fucking bigger.
Yeah, no, but I
Yeah,
mean,
just,
like, literally the
obviously
Nile
it's-
crocodile. Well, I guess I should be specific, because there are some that have evolved after, but they all evolved from this one. The Nile crocodile literally has been around in Africa since the dinosaur. It is a dinosaur. Like, have you guys ever seen Lake Placid, where if the food source is large enough, like, the larger the food source, the bigger the crocodile gets.
Show them this.
They'll literally eat and eat and eat until they puke, and then just convert all of that food into body mass. So if they have a bigger food source, they become larger. The only reason that alligators now crocodiles today aren't the size that they were in the time of the dinosaurs is because the food has gotten smaller. They were that
also
large
the
because they were
oxygen
eating shit.
levels in the air.
Yes, there you go. That's the big one too. But technically, the alligator is one of the first lizards that evolved before. Like, it's weird to explain, but like everything was an insect, and then oxygen levels decreased massively, and then that's when the lizard evolved. And it mainly evolved because it had lungs, made it more efficient. So the crocodile is actually one of the very first creatures that, like, they go back all the way to the Thoracic, if not older than the dinosaur itself. Like, some dinosaurs evolved from the bloodline of that creature. It's really kind of unique in a way. But to get back to what I was teaching you, because I just realized I should have ended that, and then we can just focus on the game. In essence, the concept of the obsession story, okay, is that every girl has a story. Okay, and if you look at literotica, if you look at 50 Shades of Grey or any book ever written, whether it be the big tough guy, because I've read these two, to give you an example. Okay, one, the guy's a nerd, one, the guy is actually a fucking werewolf. Okay, so as far as you can get from the alpha to the beta male mentality, right? But either way, in the book, they get the girl. And you want to know how they get them? Because of a storyline, an obsessional story, something that he followed, some course of actions, okay, that he did, which led her to obsess over him and eventually want to be his girlfriend. You get it now? That's the connection, guys. No matter what book you read, no matter what literotica, and this is stuff that's ingrained into the female minds, and at birth, all the way back to the times of, like, cavemen, is that story. They all have their own different story. They all have a minefield they put in front of you. And the reason why that's there is because you might have to chase away a predator. You get it now? Like where I told you that minefield is bullshit, Gek? You probably fucking hate it how every girl puts one out. But the reality is, every girl is going to do it. And they're going to do it because it's their natural instinct. They're going to say that they like a guy who has fucking money, all that kind of crap. But it's brain. And their private brain is actually what literotica books they read. Just like what kind of porn movies we read. Okay, but do you show a girl your fucking, like, history list of your porn you watch? Do you tell her your innermost fantasies? Let's be honest, guys.
Nope, you just act them out and see if they like it.
And the reality is that's the actual keys to your kingdom. If she can do that shit, if she can figure that crap out, oh damn, she got you. You'll. And every fantasy is always the same. There's trials and tribulation. Okay, as it says at the fucking Navy SEALs camp, forged by adversity. Okay, that's what. There's the insecurity test. Okay, and the insecurity test is either, like, they reassert your feelings towards them. So, like, some girls, they'll try to constantly get you to fucking say that you love them and shit, or try to get that crap out. And there's the test of strength. Okay, that's similar to what your mom does to you. If you get what I mean, like, where, like, she'll be sitting there, like, bugging you and saying, you could do this better, you could be doing this better, you could be doing this better. Like, you know, your girlfriend walks up to you and says, why are you playing so many video games? Go out and fucking exercise already. Okay, she's not trying to be a bitch at all. In fact, she only wants what's best for you, and that's a test of your strength. It means that she's seen either sees or has prior seen some form of strength in you that she knows exists, and just wants to fucking bring it out of you. So she's testing you, seeing if you will. Get it now? That's the shit you want to pass. That's it. And it's really easy to do because the truth is you can either see it as two get, or you can see it as a chance to this to the girl. Okay, there are many things in my life that, you know, I could admit I should probably change. It's just whether or not I've actually met a girl that's worth going through that fucking minefield for. That's the real question, isn't it?
Right.
Okay, so Gek, if you did this with these two girls, if they were worth it to you and you went through that fucking minefield, do you know what happens to soldiers sometimes when they go through a minefield?
Boom.
Oh, he said he was doing his laundry. My bad. You know, you can get your legs blown off. You're right. But at least you fucking ran. You can just cower and hide. You'll miss 100% of the shots you never fucking take. So that's what I'll tell him. That's what I'm trying to explain to him, if you get what I mean. But like, yeah, it kind of sucks that those two girls did that to him, but he would have never known what was going to happen if he didn't try. The truth is, he just doesn't know if he tried his best or if he tried his hardest. Okay, that's really what's bugging him, just like it used to bug me. So that's why I use this system now. It's whatever. At least I know,
Yeah,
you know,
it's
like.
kind of sensitive. That's
So
what
am I.
found about him.
Yeah, but so am I, though. I can admit that.
Yeah. But Gek, it's... I don't know. I can't explain it with Gek. He's,
You know, it might not be that he's sensitive. Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to tell you.
To fit in, you know?
Yes, and that's what I was about to explain to you. That's not sensitivity. That's insecurity. Again, everyone has them. It's part of being human. You get it now? I guarantee there's at least one thing you're insecure about.
Yeah.
There you go. And that's his thing. Okay, it's what makes him human. In fact, that he has those insecurities. Nobody's perfect. But I do get what you're saying on now. And that sounds like trying to fit in that sense, trying to play a role.
Because when I first met him, obviously he sounded just like you know. Obviously, I know you're Canadian.
No, I know.
The average American. The average American. But then,
no, I know, but what I was more...
He says a few words like me and that.
It's just so I don't forget it. It's just so I don't forget that I'm trying to tell you this, because I'm like, this is something you should talk to him about. This would help him a lot. What he needs to realize is what I'm realizing. But because he's played so many fucking roles, because he changes it like that, he kind of does already have a skill set he can use to his advantage. In a weird way. Okay, but what it more is, or actually he's back now, so I'll explain to you what it is. The best way to do that story trick, from what I've learned, and the best way to really know 100% for fucking sure, okay, if that shit was going to work or if it wasn't, or if it was all just meant to be or if it wasn't, is to be yourself when filling the story. Try to fill the obsession story in a way that you, like, it's like, once you figure out what the girl's story is, you kind of make a decision whether or not you actually can be that character, and that's it. And you know, and if it's something you want to be, something that is actually close to who you are. You get what I'm saying now? Mm-hmm. And then you be yourself. That's why people just never properly explain what they mean by be yourself. And then in the end, if you know it didn't fucking work, it's because it wasn't supposed to. What they really mean by that, Gek, is that they all have the fucking story. Okay, so what I'm trying to explain to you is because they have this story, Gek, you could be totally, like, look at me before you move forward. Okay, because I'm talking to you directly now. Because every girl has this obsession story built into their brain, okay, every obsession story is focused on a character, and you have a character, right? Now, I can tell you're sensitive to things just like me, but that doesn't change the fact that you're human. That can create certain insecurities, but that doesn't mean anything other than you're human. Everyone has them. Like, I just talked about it with Shax, too. Like, there's got to be at least one thing he's insecure about. You need to realize, like, you're not alone. I mean, maybe not everyone has your particular insecurity, but everyone's got one. Okay, mine is I have a really hard time...
trust issues.
Yeah, my issue is I can interpret...
Really huge penis.
Shut the fuck up.
Okay, my insecurity, I'll be honest, is that I can take silence as rejection. If a girl, like, looks at my message and doesn't answer it right away, I instantly assume she's pissed off. You know, like, I have this joke for it. I have this photo, like a meme that I have, where the doctor asks me, you know, like, where does it hurt? And then I show, you know, it says I show him a text with no reply. I'm like, oh my god. So I kind of get it. But to explain it simply, Gek, come here. Okay, because every girl has that story, okay, and every story requires a character, you could just be yourself around girls, okay, and there's going to be, I'd say at least 40% of all women are going to, you only have to fill maybe 60 to 70% of that story. Like, girls have a checklist, if you get what I mean. Okay, you don't really have to, like, get checked off on everything. They are, well, any mature woman is going to accept the fact that if she thinks every man is going to have every quality she wants, she's living in a fucking fantasy world. Okay, she doesn't have to settle for second best, but she is going to have to settle on some things. People have faults. There's no such thing as a perfect person. Okay, so really you just be yourself. That's what they mean. Because every girl has a story, and every girl has a character they're attracted to. And if your character just happens to be the one she's attracted to, you see how that would just naturally happen, okay? And if you don't have the character she's attracted to, it's not going to happen. But in the end, honestly, bro, and every man has to stand in the fire of this. It is just the reality. It's where we find our strength as men, okay? Every man stands in the fire of rejection. Like, relationships are totally up to the fucking girl. If they, like, they're the ones that say yes or no.
They are. Let's be honest. It really is just up to them.
Okay, but there's where we find our strength as men. to be able to stand in that fire, you know, like to be
Unless you
forged by it.
identify as a Rockley stick or something.
Well, you get what I'm saying, you know, that's why I told you that those things were supposed to happen to you so you could learn what you were supposed to do next time. That was the fire you got forged in. Now, fires can burn, but they still make you tough.
I think they kill you.
Not if you don't get too engulfed by it. Yeah, but these are philosophical fires. You know what I'm fucking talking
Alright,
about.
well, if a fire doesn't kill you, then it scars you.
Okay, rejection is about as scary as running into a burning building. That's what I'm saying. Am I wrong?
Nah, not really. I wouldn't.
For someone like me and Gek, he doesn't want to admit to it, but I pretty much just explained it perfectly. Rejection is about
I'm
as
just
scary
saying,
as
I
running
would
into a
never run
fucking
into a
burning building. Am I wrong, Gek?
I mean, you're not wrong.
So that's what you need to get over, like me. Okay, that's why I'm trying to explain to you, like, I'm not just some average dipshit giving you this advice. I'm literally you. I got like 6 years of experience on you.
Like, I don't care if just like anybody rejects me. I think
If
if it's like a person that I really care about and a person I want to stick around.
Yes, and that's the problem, is that you probably come off, so that's the thing, is that when you get like that, and see, I'm going through this issue, is that I'm worried if I'm coming off as desperate to the girl. Without her actually realizing, like, and I've tried to explain this, like, politely without making it seem like I'm having ego or anything, but like, no, it's just her. Okay, I've been single for the last 6 years. Okay, when you got a face like mine, when you got money like I do, okay, like I've had offers, I've had girls, like, you know what, since I was on Tinder before I met her, at least 4 girls.
At least like done a hookup or something, bro.
That's not my style. I'm not really like that. Well, no, a hookup it's worth to explain, because that's kind of what I told her, but not in the way, like, I think that's the word that I used that she might have misinterpreted and why she's so pissed off at me, but I meant it more as, like, if I was ever going to do something like that, it would merely just be because of the fact that because that's all the other person is comfortable with at the moment, and that's what I was trying to explain to her, I guess, is that if that's all she's comfortable with is just hooking up for now and being friends, then whatever, I'm not going to sit here and rush her into anything. I take my victories where I fucking get them. Okay, so all I could be, you know, is just a hookup for now, until she figures out what the fuck she actually wants. Then I'm okay with that. Like, but I'm worried that it came off as like me saying, like, all I actually wanted from you is a hookup. And it's like, no. No, I basically said in it, you know, like, I actually made sure that, like, I hope well, the truth is, because it was so goddamn much, we were talking about injustice, everything was going good, and then all this happened, so I just removed all the messages. I decided I'm going to talk about this with her face-to-face. It's not something I'm going to text. But long story short, what I have to explain to the girl is simply that I didn't want to just jump into like, if you ask me what kind of a person I am, okay, I'll explain it to you. After almost dying over a fucking girl, do I want to jump into the first relationship, okay, that I come across? Hell no. I've been so weary of relationships for the last 6 years that unless a girl was actually something I really fucking wanted, I didn't even try. Okay, this girl, you really want to know the truth? We have a lot of things in common. Okay, her favorite band in high school is Falling in Reverse. It's the same thing with me. Okay, she likes to play video games, especially COD and Injustice. Like, my favorite character is Batman, and I've already know she's got quite a few Batman shirts. I pay attention to details, what the fuck, I guess. Okay, and there's just a few things. Like, she's actually the first person that ever actually asked me, you know, like, what did I learn new and interesting that day? Everyone fucking knows I learn new and interesting things every day. Okay, but what it really is, in essence, is that, like, how to explain it? Nobody ever asked me, because they already know. It's already so obvious in my fucking character that everyone's like, you know what, he's gonna probably tell me what he learned anyways. But don't you think but when you're yeah, I know, Shaq's laughs because he's right. It is true. It's why I never ask him. You already fucking know. And everyone knows if they ask, they're going to get a spiel. Okay, now the thing I like about this girl is that I already kind of told her I like to learn things like this. She kind of said she likes to too, so I gave her an explanation on ferromagnetic fluids. I'll be honest, it was like 3 fucking paragraphs long. And that's like really long text, you know what I mean? And then even after that, she still asked me, you know, did I learn anything new and interesting? So now I'm realizing, like, I didn't bug her with that. Like, I'm trying to explain it, I guess. Like, do you get what I mean? Like, nobody ever asked me because they're going to get a spiel. And nobody ever wants to fucking hear it. Okay, she already got a spiel whenever she found out that I liked fucking learning things, and then still asked me what I'd learned. So I was like, okay, well, at least she's not a total bitch to me. Okay, she's never given me shit. She's always been very kind and understanding. In fact, like, even today, where I could sense I kind of gotten shit, she never actually said anything rude. At all. All she really actually said was, I work a lot. I don't have time to go through my frickin' phone. So I was like, oh shit.
Did you say frickin'?
No, I just used that word. But I'm reading between the lines. She was pretty much saying, you know what? Like, I'm at work. Fuck off! I'm not stupid.
God damn it, leave me alone.
No, because that's what I'm trying to explain to you, is like, I've sent a lot of messages, man. Like, if she really wanted me to leave her alone, like, I think she would have said that by now. Either that, or she is the most tolerant and polite person I've ever fucking met.
I'm like the opposite of that.
When I get very attached and I get very comfortable with a person,
see what
I
I'm saying?
become very clingy.
Yes, I get
very
that.
fucking annoying.
Yes, I get that, and that's the issue I'm trying to explain to you. I have too. And a lot of girls, when that happens, they think I'm just this desperate guy who does that with every girl he comes across. And I guarantee you've had that problem too, right? Okay, and the issue that they don't seem to realize is that it's like, no, bitch, get over your fucking self a little bit. I'm only doing this for you. I don't just do this for anyone, and I don't just do this for every fucking person I come across. But if I like someone, I really like them. Is that so wrong? Like, what do you want? Do you want a person who half-asses their feelings towards you? Okay, there's a strength in who you are. That's what I'm trying to explain. So basically what you're telling me is that you're picky, okay, but when you actually find someone you like, you don't half-ass it. Okay, exactly. I can tell you something right now. Most immature girls are going to get annoyed by that. Okay? Yeah. Most mature women, even if they get annoyed, will at least realize that's better than you half-assing it. You get it now?
Yeah.
And if a girl honestly isn't going to view you like that, if she isn't going to see, like, no offense, like, I'm not trying, like, don't take this in a bad way, okay, but that's a good quality, okay, and girls should like that about a guy, okay, and if they can't see that, you're wasting your fucking time with them, and you know what, doesn't sound like a person like you should be wasting your time. Does that make sense? You got, like, if you're actually treating a girl like that when you like them, one of them will like it, one of them will appreciate it, and all the fucking time you spent on the girls who didn't, every second you spend on a girl who is not reciprocating that equally in every fucking way that you give it back is not worth your fucking time, because she's literally just not the one. Because she's not doing it. And if she's not doing it, then what's the point? Like, you know what I'm trying to say, bro? Like, that's pretty much like me trying to, like, I'm pretty much almost like telling you, you know, like, to reject them unless they do that. But what I'm trying to explain is that, yeah, you should, because every second you spend on them when they're not is a second you could have been spending on another girl finding out whether or not they're actually going to fucking reciprocate that shit. Okay, so you're going to ask me, bro, why am, you know, so you're going to think that I'm not following my own advice with everything that I told you about this girl. She doesn't want to, you know, like considering all the shit that I said. No. No, the reason I'm still talking to her, the reason I'm still hanging out with her, is because she reciprocates that shit, you know, like, how to explain it? So you know what? She doesn't want to fucking date so right away, okay? At least she doesn't jump down my fucking throat for every message I send her like my exes did. I'd rather have a friend who actually accepts me for who I am than a girlfriend who's always bitching at me.
I agree with that statement.
Okay, I take my victories where I fucking get them, and the reality is, and I've told, okay, and I've told Shax this before, I mean, I don't really have very many friends in real life. Most of my friends exist online.
Dude.
And that comes down to girls, too.
Dude, I don't even have that many friends in real life. The only person that I actually talk to that lives relatively close to me is my friend that switched schools over the summer. Yeah, and then the main person I talk to on a daily basis is this girl named Kat that lives 4 hours away. Man, that feels great.
So I guess all I can really tell you to explain it the best would be like this. So it's like, because I just had I fucking hate how it's like grains of sand sometimes. To simplify it, in essence, it's like, considering the girl's been so understanding, you know, all that kind of crap, and like we actually have a lot of things in common. I mean, if she doesn't want to date right now, it's not like she sat there telling me it's because of me. It's just because she doesn't want a relationship. Taking victories where you can get them is kind of looking at the situation and realizing, well, she's a decent person. Why wouldn't I want to be friends with her? It's not like I don't have very many. First off, I don't have very many friends because I'm very picky over my friends right now, and she's actually someone I would be friends with. Like, I guess you could say dating her would just be a bonus. Like, does that make any sense, I guess?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's because of that I would still spend time on it. It's because of that I would still, I wouldn't see it as wasting my time at all because she's a decent person. She's actually, I don't explain it other than that. Okay, so it's like, I wouldn't say that just because a girl reciprocates right away, okay, or escalates right away means to instantly move on to another. By reciprocation, I just mean as long as they're making you feel good. Like, like the truth is, I laugh at this, that she barely messages me. Okay, because she's so busy working and all that crap. And with how much I message her too, she has to go through a lot. But every message she sends me is always well intended. Like, it always makes me happy to read. Does that make sense? And like, the only thing I've taken from this girl is that even though I've messaged a lot, she more gets worried about whether or not she's messaging too little. And it's like, you work, you're busy, I get it. Like, the truth is every message you send is always really nice. So like, what am I going to do? Like, bitch? Like, so I get like one message. Like, sometimes it could be 2 days before I hear anything from her. But when I do hear something, it's always really good. Like, wars are won in small victories. Okay, so I guess what I'm really more explaining is that sometimes with girls like that, or sometimes with girls that you like when you're getting responses like that, the only reason why I would say it'd still be good to be friends with a person like that and you're not totally wasting your time is because it might just be wrong time, not wrong person. She's more focused on a career than she is a relationship. You see what I'm saying?
You're a very positive person.
Yes, and that's what you need to learn to be. That's all. Okay, don't lose the sensitivity. Just get rid of the negativity. Like, take that shit and fucking throw it in a fuck it, as I call it. You ain't got, like, how old are you now?
4,226.
No, what? No, I was asking Gek, like, how old are you now?
16.
You 16?
16. I'm turning 17.
Okay, so you got a lot of, okay, so you're not as far as, because the truth is I'm 30 years old. I ain't got time for that kind of bullshit anymore. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The reality is you're 16. What you should realize is you do still have time for that bullshit. You got all the time in the world. You're 16.
Yeah,
See,
so
I would
fine.
think that I have all the time in the world, but I really don't.
Well, you get what I'm saying.
I mean, yeah, there's still years to go, but
it's not bad.
On a personal basis right now, not much.
But what I'm more saying is that, but it's not bad to adopt a mature mentality towards a situation, and that I can already tell you have, and you shouldn't lose that. It's just the problem is because you're 16. Do you know how hard it's going to be to find a girl that's mature like that?
As
like
mature
having,
as me?
because
yeah.
you think like a 30-year-old. You get what I'm saying? Okay, like I'm trying to explain it. It's like you like me. You don't have time to fuck around. If you like a girl, you show your feelings for her. You're mature enough to understand that.
I just don't have time for other people's bullshit. If they don't want to do it, then they don't want to do it. But the reality is, nobody has the fucking balls to say it.
Exactly, because they're all 16. You get it now? Yeah. Have you tried going after a 19, 20-year-old? I mean, to be honest, girls that age love 16-year-olds that have maturity. You'd be surprised. You're like a young piece of meat to them.
Oh.
Don't get full of yourself, Gek.
Actually, that's the kind of girls I was dating at his age. My first lady, I was 16, she was 19. Like, I lost my virginity to a 19-year-old, so,
Okay.
I'm telling you, it is always go for the older. Like, now, I guess it's a little, like, and what's funny about this is I should tell you guys this. I'm kind of like breaking my own rules with this girl because she's 10 years younger than me. She's 23. But she's really mature for a 23-year-old, though. Like, she's got her college degree. She knows what she wants out of life. Like, she's literally, I can tell she doesn't have time to fuck around. She works 7 days a week. She's got a fucking head on her shoulders for a 23-year-old. And like I said, like, she's so far outside of what I would normally pick. It's just, there's something about her that I want to explore, I guess. And until I'm done exploring that and figuring out exactly what the fuck these feelings mean, I don't consider any of it a waste of time. I consider it all just a learning experience. It's like, you ever read Zen and Motorcycle Riding?
What?
You ever read the book Zen and Motorcycle Riding? It's about this guy who takes a cross-country trip with his son, okay, on a bike, and he learns a whole new metaphysical way of viewing interaction with others, okay, because he met so many new people. Okay, and in fact, he did it with his son after his wife died. He never thought he'd ever meet another girl again. He met her on that ride. Random encounter, but, in the end, he was more in love with her than he was with his wife. He says it right in the book. So he finds this new metaphysical way of viewing interaction as in everything is a different. It's special between two people. Okay, your interaction with every person, including me and him right now, is going to be different than any interactions you'll ever have with anyone else, because it's between us. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's that private factor. That's where inside jokes come from. You get it now? Like, literally from that element of that. Okay, so that is what you know, if you can make a girl laugh like that, you make inside jokes at her, you know, like here you go. This is my favorite one-liner, I swear to God. It works always as an opener. Okay, now it's just an example. You got to find something along the lines, okay? But I turned around, like, now I copy and pasted this and sent it to, like, over 6 girls just to test it. Okay, so I know it statistically works because you know what I did? I even used I can really be scientific, okay, but I'm just trying to tell you this is how smart I am. I even used the placebo effect. I sent it to a totally platonic friend of mine and still got the same reaction from her.
Oh, God.
Okay, so that's how much I know this is statistically working. It's really just about getting her to picture you, okay, doing something. So that way it creates an inside privacy between you and her. You get what I'm saying now? Okay, so it can be anything along the lines of just saying, like, so I was taking a walk with my dogs today, and there was a pigeon sitting on the fence staring at us, you know, like it knew what we did last summer. Really kind of made me laugh my ass off. Okay, so she's going to picture, okay, like what you're trying to do is get her to picture, okay,
Ooh,
you
AJ.
all off guard with your dogs while a fucking pigeon's staring at you.
Hey,
Okay,
I
but
might just go onto the group.
it's still something that is a happy factor. It makes them laugh. You get what I'm saying? Okay, like I turned around next day, I used the same thing. I said that fucking, you know, like I was, and this is all shit that actually happened. There was a fucking pigeon staring at me. I try to use things that are relevant. Okay, and the next day there was,
staring at me.
yeah, I know, a little shit. Okay, and like he even tried to take a fucking crap on me too as he fucking left. Like that's the joke that I was cracking. Like what I'm more saying is that every girl either responded with a good reaction. Like my platonic friend, she literally said, "Ha ha ha! I can so picture that." Okay, and I knew that's the reaction I was trying to get with the other ones. They didn't say that, though. Okay, but it still got the reaction they wanted. It caused them to communicate with me. Okay, this was the first message I sent them on Tinder. You get it now? Not a hello, how are you doing, because girls don't really want to hear that shit. They kind of do after you get to know them a little bit, but if you really want to break the ice with them, get them to picture you without even knowing you. Okay, if you can get them to image you, it's hard to explain. It's just that's part of the obsession. Yeah, but that's the thing, though, is that they use the profile picture as a basis for the image. You see where I'm going with this? And that's why it's good.
This man is fucking tutoring me on how to get shit done.
You're right, and I do have a profile picture. I'm just saying this is my icebreaker. Okay, well, actually, I should tell you what I was saying, because you joined halfway into it. So it's more just like getting them to image you in a funny way, because basically people are all about private mentalities. That's how inside jokes are created. Am I wrong?
Or
Okay, so you want to create a private joke between her and you right away. That's the connection. Privacy. Okay. Well, not really feel special. No, not really making them feel special. Just trying to make them laugh, but in a way that, I don't know. Here, I'll explain to you what it is. So, yes, and what's odd about this is that I'm very scientific when I do these tests. I sent it to 6 different matches on Tinder, and then the 7th was a platonic friend. Okay, just to have that placebo effect, if you get what I'm saying. Okay, and I got the reaction from every single one of them. In fact, all I was really trying to do was to get them to picture me and laugh at it and send some kind of response. Now, my platonic friend literally said exactly that. Ha ha ha, I can picture that.
I mean, I sort of...
Okay, but every other girl, this is what was hilarious. So what I said to them was that, I was walking my dogs, and there was a pigeon sitting on this fence staring at us like it knew what the fuck we did last summer or something. Kind of made me laugh my ass off a bit. Okay, and I got the response from... Okay, I'll show you guys the responses that I got, but you're going to see how... Remember how I was telling you, I guess, Gek, before, that when you read literotica, which ironically, this is what I should tell your friend to go back a bit so he understands the context. Okay, the amount of porn subscriptions, okay, and porn videos men watch, okay, is literally equivalent and equal to the amount of books women buy in literotica genre. So you know what that means, guys?
What?
That's their porn. That's their obsession story. That's their deepest fantasies. Literotica. Now, to give you an example of this, 50 Shades of Grey. Now, to really impact how much this stuff has an effect on the female mind, On the release, look this up, of 50 Shades of Grey, and every consecutive book she wrote, the birth rate spiked by 50% that year, each time.
Dude, I'm
And
not
each
even
book
gonna
caused
lie.
a higher
I
birth.
have
Yes.
watched every 50 Shades of
because
Grey, and I have read every 50 Shades of Grey.
Literotica, because girls read the book, got turned on by what they were reading in the book, but can't actually execute their sexual fantasies with a book, so they call in their boyfriend. No. They just start having more sex because they're having more sex because of the book coming out. Therefore, they eventually,
Step 1, tell girls to read that.
Step 1, buy your woman Literotica, okay? Gets you laid more. Okay, but step 2, understand that Literotica is equivalent, okay, to male porn, therefore being female porn, okay? So every Literotica book I've ever read, because I have dyslexia, that's the only reason I've read these things, I kind of just, like, picked any fucking book and read it to increase my ability to read and grow knowledge. Now, I watched this video about a week or two ago.
50 Shades of Grey series.
Now,
Have you heard of the
what I'm trying to tell you guys is this, though, is that I've seen a lot of these hypothetical videos, okay, that guarantee people being able to pick up girls. Until I saw this one video called the Girlfriend Activation System. And the reality is that he actually bases this in a lot of sciences that I already noticed existed. It's things that I'd explained to my friends so many times, just never really truly understood how to grasp the concept and apply it. Okay, and basically, you ever notice how girls ask you, like I always told my friends this, Shax remembers me telling them this once, girls ask you to go to the opera, okay, but not because they actually like the fucking opera. Okay, they just want to watch you do something that you don't like for them. Okay, you're going to ask me why? Because, yeah, but this is just, I know, but it's not really, though. Okay, this is physical, ingrained, like, how to explain this, I guess? This is the woman's sexual mind as far as it goes back to the times of, like, Cro-Magnon, like cavemen times, okay? And the reason why this is because it's also inherently found within our survival mechanisms. Okay, so it's really just, it's there for a good reason. That's all I'm saying. Women are supposed to have this because it's part of their self-preservation. And most of the female brain, as far as it is concerned for self-preservation, is actually concerned towards offspring. So if the only reason why she's doing this is to make sure that you're a good fucking dad and you can take care of the kids and focus on the kids just as much as she does, is it really a bad thing that she kind of puts us through these kind of tests? Or is it really just the shit men go through, like, to get a girl? Like, we stand in that fire all fucking day. That's where we find our strength. Am I wrong? It's really embedded in their consciousness, because that's what I'm trying to show you with Literotica, is that no matter what book you read, even one that I read where the guy was a fucking werewolf, okay, a special forces assassin in World War II who could transform into a werewolf, okay, where the other guy was a fucking nerd, okay, who wrote video games on a coding system, both stories, whether the character plot and character profiles were totally different, followed the same storyline of obsession. Okay, so ergo obsession story. Every girl has an obsession story deeply embedded in their brain, which basically gets them attracted to a guy and gets them to obsess over. Okay, but they all have a minefield they lay out that you got to get through, because if you read these stories, this is the storyline. This is the context that every book follows. A minefield, okay, a forged through adversity kind of story, some kind of situation he has to fucking go through to get to her. Okay, and we see this in romance novels today, and we say it depicts such a bad fucking mentality. Like, romance novels today, guys, I used to get pissed off at this mentality until I saw this video, and I realized, holy shit, it's actually true. Okay, romance movies today kind of portray this mentality where the guy has to give up everything he has, you know, like, move halfway across the fucking country just to fucking get the girl, right? But what if that's the adversity I'm talking about? Okay, so you can either bitch, you can complain, or you can see it as a chance to grow together.
It's alright, bitch. You can either complain.
Yes, it's just to yes, and you know what, bro? I'm gonna tell you something. There's two types of tests they'll put you through. Okay, but either way, you want to pass. Okay, now this might sound stupid to say. And yes, and if you can pass all of these tests correctly, you get them to assess over you, and they don't freak out. In fact, they start doing nice things for you, giving you gifts and shit, if you get what I mean. Well, no, you know what, to be honest, as the guy explains, and the reality is the reality is that, remember that shitty-ass relationship that I told you I was talking about before, where I almost got killed, guys?
Yeah.
the only reason I even kept focusing on this fucking girl for a second was because when we were first together, that's the way she was with me. Because I guess somehow I fit that fucking story. And I guess afterwards, it just wasn't the same anymore for her. But it doesn't change the fact that during that time, yes, it's actually kind of true. She did.
The fact that this man said blowjobs.
She did actually try to make, like, I'll give you an example. Okay, her and me were literally, I guess you could say her and me were just friends with benefits for a bit, like we were best friends, but she didn't really want anything more than a relationship, so we were doing stuff like that. Like, I'm gonna tell you guys how we actually got together. Okay, but the reality was she knew I liked her the whole time. Okay, and I was actually just being okay with the situation of friends. I was like, like, whatever, take your victory, you'll take my victories where I fucking get them. It's not like you're sleeping with anybody else. Like, that's the one thing she said, like, we'll be friends like that, but, like, one thing is that, like, is it really that far away from a relationship? I'm not fucking anybody else. Okay, so I said, yeah, it's like, I'm not gonna bitch. Like, you're coming over to my house, you're spending nights here, like, you're sleeping with me, like, what the fuck? Like, what am I gonna do, bitch and fucking complain that you don't wanna, like, put a title to it? So, but she knew that I did, though. But that's what I'm trying to tell you guys, though. But she knew that I did, and I put up with it the whole time. There's that story. There's that minefield. Think about it. That's the minefield I went through. Right fucking there. Okay, and afterwards, she had problems with her, like, with her grandparents that she was living with at the time. They were arguing a lot. They wanted her to finally move out, yada, 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 get her own fucking place and a job. I figured I could help her out with stuff like that. Like, she literally just lived down the street from me. So I said, well, I mean, you're already kind of like my best friend. Like, we're, like, you sleep in my bed, like, almost every night, or I'm sleeping at your place. Like, if you want to move in, I don't really care. Like, at best, we'd be roommates. Like, I'm not trying to date you or anything. Like, the truth is, guys, we were living together before we even dated each other, technically, because she moved in. Okay, and when she moved in, okay, she was bringing in all this shit into the house. Okay, and rearranging my area. But I didn't really mind, because, I mean, I kind of lived like a Buddhist monk. Okay, I only had, like, the things that I needed. But she was actually decorating it to look like an actual room, if you get what I mean. But it still doesn't change the fact I got to...
Because I gotta wake up in, like, 3 hours.
Well, then before you go, though, Gek, you gotta hear this story. Because I'm saying this is what you should be looking for, I guess. Okay, it should just flow naturally. Okay, so I'm sitting here, and I'm looking at her, and I finally, I cracked this joke. Now, it's not even a joke, it's just the fucking truth. It's just an anecdote at best. I say, the truth is, okay, I find this kind of funny, because I want to date you, and I've just been putting up with this the whole fucking time. Okay, but, like, there are only 2 fucking people that I would ever actually let rearrange my house. Okay, and you're really lucky I'm letting you do this, and that's my fucking mom or my girlfriend. Okay, so she just straight looks at me and says, well, I'll be your girlfriend if you want. What do you think I said? No, obviously I said yes. Okay, but that was the adversity. Like, basically, guys, what I'm saying is, in these stories, he goes through the adversity, but there always reaches a point where the girl finally gives herself to him. Like, okay, he's gone through enough. It's time for me to finally, She already had, physically, but not emotionally. See what I'm saying? No. No, give herself to me. Like, okay, she already had physically, just not emotionally. That's what happens in the story. There eventually reaches a point where the guy goes through enough bullshit that she decides, hey, like, he's gone through enough. Maybe I should give him a chance. Okay, so basically, I'm going through all of this crap of not dating her, but at the same time, I'm being totally okay with the fact that at least we're together. I'm asking if she wants to move in. Now, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you guys this too. Okay, so I told her to think about it, and I expected like a day or 2 of thinking about it. She said she was going to go back to her grandparents to talk to them about it. She came back within 2 hours with a car loaded with stuff. Okay, so the truth is, she was just waiting the whole time for me to fill the story before she gave herself to me. Once I filled the story, it was just click, 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 click. Things started happening. Things just started falling in place as I wanted them to. Like it was on autopilot. The only way to explain it. Okay, and I never really actually realized till, like, I watched this video that that's just what happened naturally with the girl because of well, before he left, this was what I was trying to tell him. I'm not saying you even have to use these video guys or do this shit. What I'm more actually saying is that after realizing how right this guy is, but experiencing it in a way where I didn't even have to do it, it just kind of happened because I was myself, she was herself, and therefore it clicked. I can look back at that and realize that, like, clearly we were supposed to a certain degree. Like, I'm trying to explain. It's like, yeah, we're not together now, but at least I know I did everything I fucking could. We're clearly just not meant to be together. So it's like when you realize this, okay, that every girl has that story, and every story has to be filled by a male character. You have a character, right? The person that you are, the way you act, things like that. That's what they mean by being yourself. You be yourself, and if you're the character that can fit her story, she's going to react to that. If you're not, she's not going to. But the truth is, that's the fire men stand in. Sex is totally up to the girl. Relationships are totally up to the girl. Like, we stand in the fire of rejection. They stand in the light of exception. Plain and fucking simple. Okay, there's no way around that, and that's what I'm trying to explain mostly, is that it's one or the other. You know, it's either your character fills her story, okay, and then she accepts you, or you don't and she rejects you. But either way, there's a character to her story, and if you have that character, she will react to it. So you really don't have to be anything other than yourself around her, because if it's not, like, if you play it off fake, because this is a big thing, the truth is the truth. You can smash it, you can scar it, you can destroy it, it's going to come back as the fucking truth. Okay, like is attracted to like, and you give what you fucking get. The reality of that saying is that if you play, you give what you get. And you get what you give. Basically what this explains, okay, is that if you act like someone you're not around her, the truth is going to come out eventually anyways. You're going to realize you're something. Okay, and like is attracted to like, so you created the character for her obsession story just to get her to like you, because you figured out what her story was. But she realizes now that you're not that character. So like isn't really attracted to like, and she caught on. And then you get to the third one. You get what you give. If you give a fake character, you'll get a false response. Okay, she'll like you for a bit, but then all of a sudden. But if you do it the other way, she'll push you away for a bit, but then all of a sudden. You know, it's either, like I said, they're always going to push you away because you stand in the fire of rejection. But then eventually, it's going to happen. Okay, it either is or it isn't. There's no, like, ifs, ands, or buts. And when you follow this system, if it doesn't happen, it's because it just wasn't fucking meant to be. Like, if you realize that all you got to do is be yourself, and if your character fits to her obsession story, like I said, if you have the character that fits her obsession story, she reacts to it. And if you play off some motherfucking character, she's just going to figure out you're a lying piece of shit. Okay, but if she realizes, holy shit, like, this is actually who he is. Like, my obsession story, the character I have in it, is literally this guy. He is it in real life. She will obsess over you and fall the fuck in love with you. That's the big secret of it. Okay, she either will or she won't. And if she doesn't, she's not interested in your character. You're not her obsession story. You're not the story. You're not her fantasy. Okay, and then that's where it boils down to me. I'm a reactive type. Okay, so call it weird, but like I react off of how much they, like, however much fun they have is however much fun I have. If that makes sense. Okay, so therefore, you see how it makes it easy for guys like us then, because if they're not reacting to that, then it's not what we want. You get it now? Makes it fucking easy for someone like us. Is that, like, you kind of just be yourself. Like, here, actually, I'll simplify it into a sentence. You kind of just be yourself, because if you don't, she's going to figure it out and call you a lying piece of shit. But if you're yourself, she's going to realize that that's the character you are, and then, like, obsess over that and fall in love with you because you actually... Okay, you kind of get off the fact that she's getting off. So if she's getting off your character and all that stuff, then obviously you're going to like her. Okay, and you're going to want to date her. But if she's not, there's really no fun in it for you, so what's the point? You're just wasting your fucking time, and you should move on to another girl. I could tell that about Gek. He's reactive. People call that sensitive. It's not sensitive. It's reactive. It has to do more with empathy than emotion. Remember what I was trying to explain to you, Shax, I guess?
About what?
How you called it sensitive? I'm like, it sounds more like an insecurity.
No, he is sensitive.
Yeah, but it's not really... Yeah, but I'm telling you, it's got a lot to do with empathy, which empathy is sensitivity, and I guess that means he's sensitive to other people's emotions, and he can react based upon that, but it's really more reactive. So that's why I was trying to give him the advice, like, if the girl isn't reacting like that, then you're wasting your time with her, because what fun are you really having if she isn't? Like, when you're sensitive like that, when you...
say one wrong thing to him, it triggers some sort of weird shit.
There you go, though, and that's what I'm saying. So he honestly should just be looking for the girl that says the right shit, that never triggers the wrong things. Like, the only reason I'm still giving this girl a chance is because she has never, remember what I said before, everything's always been well-intended. She's never said anything that triggered a bad reaction. Other than tonight, maybe, but that's only, like, it's not like she even gave me shit. I forgot I was going to pull that up because you asked me about that earlier. It's just I can read between the lines a bit, that's all. And she told me it's not because of me that, like, the thing with her is it's not wrong person, it's wrong time. She just doesn't really want a relationship right now. Okay, but I got told I work every day. I don't have time to always go through my phone. So, she didn't really give me shit or say anything bad. She just kind of said, like, that's her polite way of saying, fuck off, I really can't read all of it. And I don't know why you expect me to. Like, I'm not expecting you to. And that's kind of what I mean, guys. It's like, when the only way she tells you off is in a polite fashion. You hear where I'm going with this? Like, saying it like that, I work every day, I don't have time to always go through my phone, is a lot nicer than saying, hey, fuck nut, you do realize that I don't got time to always look at your messages. Like, holy shit. Clingy much? Okay, some girls can be douchey like that. I've had girls be douchey like that. Now you get what I'm saying, I guess? Like Shax. He just needs to find a girl like that. And no 16-year-old girl thinks like that. He's going to have to go for a girl a bit older.
He's too shy. As well.
Yeah, but older girls aren't.
Yeah, but he's too shy to do anything.
You know what? I'm an introvert. The system that I created gets them to fucking make the first move. That's the irony of it. Like, I just told you about the icebreaker. He just has to say a question like that to him. And you're right, he is very shy. But, like, there's just certain things he could do that could get them to want to talk to him.
Oh, yeah, but he won't.
He strikes me as the kind of person who wants both.
Yes, relatable.
I guess you could say I'm the kind of person who's totally okay if that's all he's going to get is punani, but I prefer relationships. I don't like questioning whether or not the person I'm with is with other people, I guess. Call it fucking weird, but I told that to Jade. We were friends with benefits. I said straight up to her, I'm like, I don't give, like, if she said, at least, I'm not with anybody else. And I said, you can go and be with other girls. I don't really give a shit. Because I knew she was bisexual. I'm like, I just don't want to imagine another dick again, I guess.
Right there. Right there. Huge penis.
Pole vaulting.
Yeah, bro.
God. You guys would actually laugh at this, but there is a statistic that was created a little while ago. Did you know that, statistically proven, okay, an 11-inch dick has about just as much of a chance of getting a girl off as a 4-inch? In fact, over 8 inches, it drastically drops by percentile chance. So having a dick bigger than 8 inches is not actually a good thing. It's kind of hilarious that I saw these 2 studies, okay, where they took I think it was like 47 different women from 50 different universities, so it was about like 400 or 500 different women, and they gave them a bunch of different blue plastic dicks pretty much to see which one they picked. They made sure to make them blue so that way there would be no racial cueing. Yeah, I know, Smurf dicks, that's the first thing I thought. And out of all of them, statistically, they actually picked one that was like 6.2 inches by, it was like 4.8 inches around for a relationship, and for a random sexual encounter, it was 6.45 around. So that's smaller than most people would assume. But then there's that statistic that was done, okay, by this dating site, okay, where they're actually called Big One. They're basically a dating site of where guys go on it because they got it, yeah. But they figured their female repertoire, knowing that they're on a site like that, wouldn't be so evasive to answering the question. So they asked 4,287 girls the same question. Okay, basically, how big was the last dick you had sex with? Okay, and the second question was whether or not they orgasm through penetration. Okay, now here's the actual statistics, and you guys are going to trip out at this. Now, this one was more surprising. This one would be is pretty surprising, but a 1-inch dick actually has a 14% chance. That's a lot higher than I thought it would be. And then I think like a 2, it's like, basically, if you look at the graph, you see a big spike at 1, so obviously it's not as bad as people think. I'm not kidding. Okay, but you see massive drop-offs in the graph between 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Once you hit 6, you start to see the graph massively increase. The highest percentile is at 8, and then fucking, what's it called? It goes down to like, once you hit 11, it's about as good as a fucking 4, and then it just keeps dropping. So it's literally kind of hilarious in the sense of that one showed 6.4. Okay, one showed, like, I know I'm a science nerd, I guess. Okay, but one shows 6.4. Well, I only research into this shit because fucking the more you know about the girl, the easier you can get them off. And physical forms are all the fucking same. It doesn't matter what girl it is, she's got the same, thing down there. You know what I mean?
To feel better about his wanna.
Actually, you're gonna laugh at this one. I have checked before, and I've always wondered why girls have always cracked, like, what my ex and her friends used to call me Goldilocks? I never could understand why until I saw these statistics, and I was like, what the fuck? It's kind of ironic. Okay, but long story short, so it seems like 8 has the highest percentile chance. Okay, but anywhere between 6 to 8 is actually where you see the highest increasing chances by graphical value. Okay, so this is just basic math. That's where the biggest spike, largest percentile is. So anywhere from 6 to 8 is really actually the good ground. If you're between that, you're good to go. You're in what's called, like, how like we exist in what's called the Goldilocks zone?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that zone, guys, is where it's not too cold, okay, and it's not too hot for liquid water. Just like Goldilocks was like the porridge is too hot, and this porridge is too cold, this porridge is just right. This bed is too big, this bed is too small, this bed fits just right. Yeah. And that's actually what girls really want. They don't want when it's too small. They don't, like, basically what I'm seeing in this statistic is they don't want anything between 1 to 5. They don't want anything after 8 to 12. Okay, they actually want between 6 to 8. If you're between 6 to 8, you're golden. You're in the Goldilocks zone, plain and simple. You're exactly what they want. You're like the perfect dick, pretty much. And because the statistic was percentile growth, okay, at 8, right? That's where the highest percentage was. But then the other tests show that they always picked one at 6.4. Graphically understanding the value that most girls have a vaginal depth between 5 to 7 inches, that means, like, seems perfect why they picked that size. Kind of ironic. And I actually am done the math. You're going to laugh at this, exactly on that number, 6.45 around. So I was like, so I guess I'm perfect for a one-time encounter. No wonder I've been single for the last 6 years.
I'm not trying to.
No, I'm not even fucking kidding about this. You're gonna laugh at this, okay? This is just. No, you know what? I don't like this. I'm telling you guys, I don't like this because it means that girls are just using me as a piece of fucking meat, and it's really kind of sad. But like, after I dated Jade, like 6 of her fucking, like in the last 6 years, I told you I've been single and I've had a lot of girls hit me up. 6 of her friends have tried to fucking hit me up, but just to hook up with me. They didn't want to date me. Because they knew how much I talk, all that fucking shit. They just wanted to fuck me, and I was like, I'm not a piece of meat. No. Fuck you. My body is a temple. Now, you know what? There's one thing I learned from girls, and the strength that girls use today. Yeah, well, I'm not. Okay, I've gone through that. I'm 33. I ain't got time for people to play with my fucking head. They can play with my head, okay? They can play with my dick head, not my actual head, okay? They're supposed to make my dick hard, not my life hard. Okay, and just using me as a piece of meat to me is making my life harder than it fucking needs to be.
No.
Yes, it is, because I don't want that.
It's free pussy.
So, you know what? There you go. So I'll tell you a question. So you're saying it's free pussy. So, well, hold on. It's like free pussy, as you just said, which is kind of like free real estate. But if somebody offered you free real estate, would you take it? Because you know there is something wrong with the property. Now you really get it?
Necessarily. You can do it.
Okay.
You can do it up. You can fix it up.
I ain't got time. 33. Nope. Ain't got time. You know what? Okay, men are not a rehabilitation center for broken women. Fuck that shit.
Yeah, they could be.
Well, I'm not. She better have her own shit together, because whatever fucking path she's on, she chose to walk. I chose to walk my path, and I walked my path. Exactly, you get what you give. And
yeah,
like attracts like, and I do not like this girl that the only thing she's doing is trying to be some sleazy... Well, the only reason why she even likes me is because my fucking ex told her that I have a big dick. Want me to be truthful?
6, not big.
Perfect sized. I telling you, I looked at the statistic. 6.4. Okay, 5 around is exactly what every girl wants for a one-time encounter. For a boyfriend, they want... And I'm literally that. I'm like sitting right there. Like, it's like, fuck. So that's all they wanted from me. I'm not fucking stupid. And like, that's what they told me. They said all they fucking wanted was that they didn't want a relationship, but they were more than okay with hooking up with me. You know, like, not a single fucking one of them was worth hooking up with. The only reason I even said that to this girl that I was talking to before is because she is actually worth it. I know that she wouldn't... She's clearly stated that she would never do anything to fucking hurt me, and she wouldn't take advantage of me. The two things all those other fucking girls had no problem fucking doing if it came down to it. And that's why I didn't do anything with them, because I knew that when it came down to it, they would have no fucking problem breaking my heart. Especially if that's all I was for. And if I actually did start, you know, having feelings for them, they wouldn't give a flying fuck. Now, this girl is different, because I've already portrayed feelings, and the only reason she's been a little bit reclusive to it is because she doesn't want to hurt me or take advantage of me. She doesn't want a relationship. She works 7 days a week. Okay, so all I can say to that is, well, I get it, you don't want a relationship, but no one wants to be totally fucking alone. Like, I'm okay with just being friends, you know? And see, you know, and just see where it goes. The reality was, I asked her out on a date only because it was on Tinder. Okay, and I thought if I didn't ask her on a date, I'd lose my chance quickly, without realizing the girl wasn't even really looking for a relationship at the time, so I could have just been friends with her and saw what happened. Okay, that's the way I prefer to do things anyways. Okay, but I'm only going to do that with somebody that honestly is treating me like a decent friend. Is actually, like I said, like, friends shouldn't try to hurt each other. Friends shouldn't try to take advantage of each other. Like, no offense, Shax. Like, when have I ever tried to offend you or take advantage of you? And actually, you know what? This guy could carry me to the fucking lighthouse left, right, and fucking center. Do I ever ask you?
Nope.
I don't want to bug him. First off, I'm a fucking carry, and I'm not stupid. Till I get better, I'm not even going to ask someone. They offer, okay, but... And same thing with her, you know? Like, she doesn't want a relationship, so until then, I'm not that goddamn fucking... Like, I'm a carry. I'm not stupid. Okay, but before you finish, though, I wanted to just explain what I meant by it, I guess. Because I'm at the last part, don't worry. Okay, so basically it's just that, is that I had girls always doing that. And then I met Amanda. Okay, Amanda was my friend, but she wasn't using me for shit. I could kind of tell she already knew about that kind of crap. Okay, that's the funny part. But she actually dealt with it gracefully. She, like, put up with 2 months. In fact, the truth is, this is what's hilarious. The position that I'm in with this girl right now, I've already been in, okay, in my past. Okay, and I've also been in her position in my past. The difference is that when I was in the position I'm in now, I didn't deal with it with such good grace. And I'm not dealing with the best grace as it is now. I'm starting to realize if I dealt with it the way Amanda did, it'd be a lot more graceful, because she was pretty smart about it. But long story short, she dealt with 2 months of just being my friend while she liked me. Okay, never brought up the fact that she liked me, but I fucking knew she did. Why is she messaging me every day? I'm not stupid. And she's always sending good morning, good night. Like, but I was still hung up on my ex, so she wasn't pushing the point. Okay, after about a month or two, I started looking at her differently. Like, you know, I wasn't just looking at her, I was looking at her. You know what I mean? And that's when I started, but it was subconsciously, like, I wasn't really trying to, I just noticed I was. And I was like, what? Okay, I think there's something going on here, and I don't know. And I decided to think about it, and what I realized was that why the fuck am I wasting all this goddamn fucking time, okay, on a girl that broke my fucking heart and almost, like, killed me? Okay, when I have a girl that's sitting right in front of me that actually wants to spend time with me, and she's not a bad person. She's been sitting there waiting politely for 2 fucking months for me to open my goddamn eyes up. Okay, so I guess she kind of caught on to that I was looking at her differently. Stuff like that, you know, so she finally, like, she always hung out with me at my house, and she asked me to go over to her place. It wasn't stupid. I was like, okay. We watched a movie, and I finally grew a pair of fucking balls and tried to hold her hand. One thing led to another. We're kind of like watching the movie, you know? I'd say like a week later, she's kind of, like, this is the hilarious part. A week later, she's looking at me, and I can tell it's because of insecurity. Okay, she just deals with it gracefully. I gotta give her that. Okay, she turns around and tells me that her mom is kind of wondering what's going on between us. You know, like, are we dating or not? Because it's been like a week we've been sleeping in the same bed together, you know, like, we're like... I just wasn't doing anything about it because I didn't want to pressure the girl. I didn't want to, you know, she had issues in her past, long story short, where when she was younger, her uncle kind of tried to, yeah, he's a piece of shit. You hear where I'm going with this, guys? So, a girl like that, you don't push it. You really be very careful. Okay, so... she's sitting there telling me, you know, like, that her mom wants to know whether or not I'm dating her, pretty much. And I'm like, well, we're sleeping in the same bed together. Like, you're at my house every day. Like, we're kissing. Like, what do you think? I think I assumed it was pretty obvious. And she's like, but if you really need a direct answer, yes. Tell your mom, yes, we're dating there. You know, 2 hours later, I get a relationship request on Facebook, and I'm like, it wasn't just your mom. I was a bit insecure. But long story short, still doesn't change the fact that she dealt with it extremely gracefully, and she did it in ways that was kind of smart. Innuendos. Like, she got me to picture things. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just, I've got a good example, a good basis to look at the two, if you get what I'm saying, guys. Okay, what I'm more explaining in... how to explain it? After I broke up with her, okay, and this is how much I can tell you, okay, this is literally what happens to me, and I've tried to explain this to this girl, that the reason why I'm talking to her and I'm even liking her this much is not because I'm some desperate douchebag. Okay, the reality is that when you look like me, I don't know, I have a lot of options, okay, but when you talk as much as I do, those options aren't fucking very good. They're mostly just one-night stands and fucking hookups or random fucking encounters that really ain't gonna go anywhere other than potentially a few STDs. And I don't want that. So, like, you know, like, I turned it down. I'm like, fuck that. Like, no, I ain't getting the clap. I've heard that song too many times. Why do good girls like bad guys? You know, fuck it. I don't fucking get it. I'll never understand it. I'll never, ever understand it.
Hey, I'ma jump off.
Well, no, well, Shax, before you go, I'll tell you the end of it, I guess. So, I was dating Amanda. Her best friend is Kachina. Okay, after we broke up, about 3 months after this, Kachina tried to hang out with me. But I wasn't stupid. Amanda tells her everything, and you know that girls talk about stuff like that when they're together.
Of course.
Okay, so I'm like, why is she trying to hang out with me unless she knows this? And I'm like, what the fuck? Another girl just trying to frickin' get in my pants. God damn! It just becomes no fun. Like, where's the challenge?
Hey, I mean...
Okay, so I kind of, you know, put her off a bit, you know, and, like, was like, no, straight up. Okay, and then all this happens. I'm going to tell you just how much this shit is true. Okay, and then all this happens. Okay, with this girl, I'm talking to her. About 2 days ago, I'm on Facebook dating, because it's like the same as Tinder, just fucking free. Okay, and guess who likes me?
The bitch's friend.
Kachina, yeah. And I'm like, what the? All these girls want to hop in my fucking pants, and I don't want to touch them with a 6-foot pole. How the hell am I supposed to sleep with them? And one girl I actually fucking want. You know, oh my god, I just can't figure out the right fucking words to ever talk to her. It's really kind of annoying at this point. And she doesn't, like, I know that she wants something to do with me, clearly, because with how much I've talked to her and how much I've messaged her, she would have fucking blocked my ass by now, if not, but it's just more like all these other girls making it too goddamn easy. Like, I don't know how to explain it, like, and the reality is I like her, not because she's making it hard, or because it's an extreme challenge. I like her because of who she is, her character, just the way she is, but we should make it a little bit fucking easier on me, I guess. Like, guide me through the minefield a bit. Like, the truth is, I didn't have a mom growing up, so I didn't really have, like, a mom to teach me these things, or to... Like, remember I told you those tests of the shit your mom puts you through?
Mm-hmm.
Like they turn around and tell you, like if a girl ever tells you, why do you play so many video games? You should go out exercising. That's a test of strength. The reality is she either in the past saw or sees.
Do what I want to do.
Yeah, I know, but you got to realize something though. It's a chance to grow together, okay? Because she could go out running with you, but that's all you got to say to her. Then fine, you come with. Let's do it together, okay? Because the reality is what I'm trying to explain to you is that the only time they ever put the test of strength to you is because they either prior saw or see within you some kind of strength that they're trying to bring out of you. And that's what your mom does. She tests you like that. That's why they say guys can sometimes go for, they say, like, I don't mean this in a bad way, but you remind me of my mom. That's what's reminding them of their mom, the fact that they're fucking giving them those tests of strength. That's it, guys, right there. Is the fact that their mom pushes them like that and says, like, hey, like, get off the fucking video games and go outside and play. She's really saying, get off the video games and go exercise.
That shit doesn't happen to me.
Yeah, but, you can either...
Anyway.
Yeah, but you can bitch and you can complain and you can sit there and think that there's no goddamn viable reason why a woman's being like this with you. Or you can realize that it's all just part of her survival mechanisms and it's a chance for you to grow with her and get her to love you a little bit more if you just fucking play the story out.
Swanee boy.
What?
Hey, have you seen me?
Yeah, I know I have.
Okay.
Yeah, but you've seen what I look like too. Like, I don't mean in a bad way. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when you talk as much as I do, how do you think I've even gotten laid? Like, Shax, that's the truth that you actually know about me. Yeah, there you go. Like, that's the truth you actually know about me. It's like, when you look like... Well, no, the reality is I'm 6 here. The best way to put it is like this, okay? I'm 6'1", okay, like 180 pounds, and I look like Brad Pitt. Like I look like I'm a fucking movie star coming right out of... Like, I have this joke, okay? If I grow out my beard, okay, I look like the most raggedy, homeless, fucking nasty-ass motherfucker you've ever met. Okay, like I literally just came back from Crusade, okay? And then I go fucking into the bathroom, I shave off my beard, and I come out looking like a fucking prince. Okay, I got that baby face, you get what I mean? Like, I literally look like Brad fucking Pitt, but I have a lot of facial hair if I let it grow. So when it grows out, you can't see my face through it. Okay, but then I fucking shave, and, like, I used to use this on girls. Like, I swear to God, I told you, I have ways of testing this shit to find out if it's true. I always do the test on 6 girls that I think likes me, and then 1 on a platonic friend just to see what her reaction is. Because the truth is, she's still a female. It's not like I'm trying to get in her pants, but females, you know what? If I can get a platonic friend to react to that shit, what do you think a girl that likes me is going to do? Okay, so that's basically what I'm trying to explain. Is I'll show you what I meant with those messages and also this trick I use in my beard. Okay, so I sent that message out to 6 different girls. Now, the irony of it is that the only one it didn't actually work on was the one that I liked. She never... Well, I think she read it, but she never responded to it. But then what was funny as fuck was this. I tried to send her a bunch... I sent her, like, 2 messages, and then I decided that one of them I'd rather talk to her about instead of text her, so I removed it. But then somehow when, like, I went to go take a walk with my dogs, I forgot to turn off my screen. Okay, so it was sitting in my pocket with her still, like, on the screen, and it was texting her mad and tried to call her too. So, like, I removed all of that and, like, sent this message where I'm like, fucking phone, goddamn fucking thing, wrong button. You know, like, I'm sorry, I ended up fucking pocket texting the shit out of you. Now, my attempt with the other 2 jokes was, like I said, just to get her a picture, you know, like, that. Because if I can get her a picture, something like that, I can start a conversation with her. Things have been going pretty stale between us. Okay, and even though my attempt was with the mole joke, it was actually me freaking the fuck out about texting her that got her to image me. Because she sent back, you know, like, that happens sometimes. Well, we're in the text, though. I told her it was just a bunch of gibberish anyways. Don't worry about it. When the irony of it was is that it was some things I just felt that just didn't want to say anyways. Rather talk to her about it. It's not best to communicate over text. But the funniest thing I found hilarious about it is that right after she starts, I said, you know, like, I got off the gate. I got to stop focusing on it. I went and played Destiny 2. And then she starts up the conversation with asking, you know, like how far am I? And, like, I literally got the reaction I wanted. She started having a conversation with me. Asked me how far I was in Destiny and what character I play on Injustice. And then my dumb ass fucked up today. I answered that question. Okay, she kind of went to bed, I guess. And then before I went to bed, I decided, fuck it, I might as well send part of the messages, and then I'll just make sure to tell her, like, don't read too much into it until we have a chance to talk about it. Remember, I got dyslexia. I don't communicate the best in text. And kind of fucked up everything. Because now she's not responding anymore. I literally should have just left it, you know, at that, and then waited for her to answer the question on Injustice. It's just, when you've gone from like asking the girl on a date, okay, only because you're on Tinder and you thought like if you didn't, you'd lose your chance, which I did say that in the message when I asked her out. To find out she doesn't want a relationship, she just wants to be friends. But that's kind of what you wanted. You just wanted to be friends with her and then see where it goes. You're stuck in that situation where you're wondering if she's misinterpreting your intentions the whole time. Like, I'm not trying to like rush her into a relationship, and neither am I trying to get into her pants. I'm actually just trying to be her friend, you know, and see if it leads somewhere else. If it leads to a hookup, if it leads to fucking, you know, like her and me being friends that have no real commitment in a relationship, but you know what I'm fucking saying, I guess. Like, I'm just going to accept the fact that it's like that. And I tried to explain that, but I think she misinterpreted it. Sad truth is I made sure to say in the message, though, that, you know, like, I'm really worried you're going to misinterpret this as me, like, being an asshole and trying to take advantage of you, when I would never, you know, I would certainly never do anything to hurt you or take advantage of you. Like, it's just we've never spoken or ever actually met in real life. All of our communication has been over text, and I have dyslexia, so, you know, like, I think a lot of the things I've said have been really misinterpreted. Like, I told her, like, I asked you out on a date at first because of the fact that, like, I don't even think she got a chance to read it. And I got so fucking spooked about all of it that I just said, you know what, everything was going good with the conversation of injustice. I'm just going to say that, you know, like, I'm just going to wait until you and me can talk about this. I'm going to remove all the fucking messages, leave it to where it was just the question of injustice. We'll keep talking about that. And then when I get a chance to fucking hang out with you, I'll tell you. But it's really just the reality of that, like, I don't know, like, I'm not trying to push myself on her at all. What I'm more trying to tell her is, like, I just want to be your friend because you're an amazing friend. But if you want something else from me, like, I'm not going to say no. You're probably the only girl I wouldn't say no to. Every other girl I tell them to go fuck themselves. I ain't a piece of fucking meat. But for some reason with her, I mean, the idea of being a piece of meat sounds kind of appealing, I guess. Like I said, maybe it's just because I know that even if she, like, I don't know, it's just, I got a weird feeling even if it progressed to just that, she still wouldn't take advantage of me and try to hurt me. So I trust her, I guess. Like, you get what I mean? It's more like you're worried that the girl's gonna totally misinterpret the message as like you're trying to force or rush something on her, when it's like, no, you're just telling her that you're the only person you really trust like that, and that if she wants to do something like that with you, like, you're okay with it. And that's probably the only girl you would be okay with doing it with, because it's not like she's gonna hurt you or take advantage of you, so why not explore those fucking options with her?
Mm-hmm.
Funny truth is that I tagged her, you know, in the broadcast that I'm doing tonight, so I'm hoping she fucking sees it. And she'll just hear everything I said. And I guarantee I communicated it a lot better in fucking words than I didn't. You know.
Right.
Well, because and I know you have to go to bed. The dumb truth, and you know this about me, because this is actually why I send such short text to you, but I'm trying, like, you know that, like, I talk so much, but do I ever send anything more than, like, a few fucking sentences? Like, if that, because of the fact that I hate fucking texting, I always worry about what the other person says, like, or misinterprets. And I'm trying to explain simply. It's like, the truth is, for all I know, nothing has been misinterpreted about what I said to her, and she just didn't have time to read it yet, and I haven't misinterpreted anything she said. It's just having dyslexia, there's always going to be that anxious thought, you know, like, am I misinterpreting or is she misinterpreting? We've never actually spoken or met, so I haven't had a chance to really, like tell it to her face to face so she can read my body language and get from my body language that, like, I had no bad intentions in this. I'm actually just more thankful that I have a decent friend. Anything else beyond that would just be a bonus. You know what? That is what I should have said. And I just realized that. Give me 2 seconds, guys.
Well, I'm gonna jump off so we can continue something tomorrow or some shit. Yeah.
Are you still there, Saxon, by chance? Or did you already leave? Damn it. Yeah.